don't know why yet, was speeding on Lake Isabella Boulevard just south of Kilbreth Drive. That man was pronounced dead at the scene. No name has been released yet, and they are not sure whether drugs or alcohol may have been a factor. Police are not sure what happened to the man yet, but the man was found dead Thursday morning on the street at the corner of Plaz Road and Hughes Lane. They got a call about 6:40 a.m. and found that man. Police haven't said how they believe the man died. No name has been released, and police have not said whether they are looking for any more info. Plenty of damage done with bricks in downtown Bakersfield Thursday morning, but police say they were able to catch the man.
How do I turn it on?
40-year-old George Callahan was arrested and charged with felony vandalism, burglary, resisting arrest, possession of a dagger. New Creamery on 18th and Dignity Health Arena and Convention Center on Truxton. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What do you think, this is the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You got to get a post like this little thing, you blow their brains all over your nice side and shoot.
There's Paul.
It's
We have a
the
winner.
Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good afternoon to you, wherever you may be, however you may be listening, or however you may be viewing for those subscribing on YouTube. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a Friday the 13th. I hope you do not suffer from triskaidekaphobia, the fear of Friday the 13th. I'm a little superstitious, but not that superstitious. It's a very strange country, but we are very, very superstitious.
Is
If you've ever triskaidekaphobia, if you've ever noticed, there are no 13th floors on most hotel rooms where that phobia fear. Is that redundant? Phobia fear? We got a busy show on this Friday to end the week as we go into a 3-day weekend. We are dark on Monday, but we got a bunch to do and lots to talk about today. Don Lemon was arraigned today on his charges for inciting and being a part of a protest that infringed on religious rights. We'll unpack that for you in just a second. It's a Friday. So KGET entertainment reporter Rick Bentley joins us at the bottom of the hour. And rival Republicans are going at it in the gubernatorial race. Steve Hilton and Chad Bianco, the only Republicans with a viable chance to get into the general election, they're squaring off against one another. We'll delve into that. Kristi Noem's days are numbered. There has been a DOJ investigation into the situation with the citizen who allegedly attacked ICE agents with sticks and shovels. Well, the investigation determined that the ICE agents were lying. Thus, so was Kristi Noem. I've got some audio of her lying about her book and her alleged encounter with Kim Jong-un, which never happened, and some other audio. She was just here yesterday. I didn't even know, but did you know about that? That the Secretary of DHS was in town?
I was not aware.
Yesterday? Yeah, apparently so. But she's done. She's cooked. She's going to be the first head to roll. And what else is going on? They have what they're calling great leads in the Nancy Guthrie case. Anybody believe that? They're saying that they have found DNA. They just don't know whose it is. Man, there's going to be a lawsuit that's going to come out of this. Because I said this from the get-go, and there's a growing consensus that this thing is being fumbled badly by Pima County officials and even to some degree the FBI. We'll talk about that. The government shutdown is about to happen in just a matter of hours. Democrats holding out. And I want to apologize. All day yesterday, I kept calling the Save America Act the FACE Act. The FACE Act deals with our lead today. The Save America Act deals with voter registration and having to prove your citizenship to register and then to prove who you are when you vote, voter ID. It passed through the House. It's not going to get through the Senate, but it's, I think, something important. Our Black History Month moment, since I have been negligent the last 2 days, all cut up with the BC Open, is Charlie Sifford. Given today is the final day of the BC Open, and my phone just went off because two players, the defending champion Patrick Flavin and another fella, got into a playoff. They both tied at 13, and Patrick Flavin won the playoff. He is a back-to-back winner, and we will talk with him at 5:30 this afternoon. Congratulations, back-to-back champion with an identical score. Third year in a row, the 13 under has won. The history of the BC Open, back in 21, literally in 2021, 21 under won. And then they got serious and made the greens really difficult, and it was like 7. And then I think Bavik won 1 year at 9. And then for the last 3 years, 13 under has won it, which is pretty doggone good, consistent golf. And unfortunately, the local guys that played well today were too far off the lead to make any difference. And the one fellow, Jared Kaneshita, one of the pros at BCC, who was in striking distance, unfortunately, he came in the first 2 days having shot only one bogey in 2 days. Unfortunately, at 4 today, he was 3 over par and was not in contention. Great kid, really unfortunate. Like I said, I talked with his mother yesterday. She thanked us for the interview that we did with Jared on, I believe it was Tuesday, but it's too bad. But another successful BC Open. Again, we'll talk with defending champ Patrick Flavin this afternoon, coming up at 5:30. But we begin, obviously, with the arraignment of Don Lemon. He obviously pleaded not guilty. And, normally, I'm sure you've gotten used to me just pounding Pam Bondi. And I do believe that this is a nothing case. I don't think this thing is going anywhere. It may not even go to trial. When it goes to trial, he's not going to be found guilty. But you know what? I'm going to give Pam Bondi a pass on this. I think sometimes there are fights you have to fight even though you know you're going to lose. And for this man who ensconced himself, he didn't embed himself into a situation. He ensconced himself. He was part of it. He was an organizer. He traveled with these people. He made references to our operation. Yes, Don Lemon is a journalist. And normally, as a career journalist, I still consider myself to some degree a journalist. We break stories on the show all the time, and we delve into news stories, and we try to get sources, et cetera, and try to inform you guys. Normally, I would be in his defense. And that's why I don't think anybody's going to convict him. We get a little hinky about messing with the First Amendment. We start to slow down just a little bit when the federal government starts trying to jail journalists. We get a little hinky about that. And so I do not think they're going to get a conviction, but I think it's worth trying him. I really do. Because what he did was wrong. He wasn't observing. He was part of it. He was encouraging it. And as the indictment states, he impeded, and I'm sure many of you have seen the video, he impeded one gentleman's attempt just to get out of the damn church. They went in and terrorized children. It's 2026. And when you see a mob, when you're in a church now, like this used to be unthinkable. But now if you're in a church and you see strangers loudly, rudely interrupting your church service, what do you think goes on in the minds of the parishioners? I know what would go on in my mind. Mass shooting, here we go, which used to be unthinkable in a church. But now we know it's not because it's happened more than once, more than twice. And so they had these people terrorized, had children crying. Lemon describes it as his photographer, his producer, who was also indicted in this, Georgia Fort, is filming this. Lemon is describing how these women and these children are terrorized and plays it off. That's what protest is all about. Disruption, terrorizing, that's what it's about. I mean, it's just the way TI is. In the meantime, the Trump administration has made this guy a hero, made him a martyr. He couldn't possibly be happier. He is living his best life. He was on Jimmy Kimmel, and once again, he addressed the press coming out of the courtroom this afternoon.
I wanted to say this isn't just about me. This is about all journalists, especially here in the United States. First off, I'd like to thank everyone again for their support, to my colleagues, countless journalists around the world, the Lemon Nation, my family and my friends. You all have showed up for me in a real way, and I am extremely grateful for that. I feel it, I feel it, I feel it. For more than 30 years, I've been a journalist, and the power and protection of the First Amendment has been the underpinning of my work. The First Amendment, the freedom of the press, the bedrock of our democracy. The events before my arrest and what's happened since show that people are finally realizing what this administration is all about. The process is the punishment with them. And like all of you here in Minnesota, the great people of Minnesota, I will not be intimidated. I will not back down. I will fight these baseless charges, and I will not be silenced. Thank you very much.
Loving it. Just loving it.
I don't know if the radio audience actually heard that. I couldn't hear it on my end.
I heard it in one of my ears. Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that audio? Anybody?
That was really it. When I had played it earlier, it sounded fine, but
No, they heard it. They heard it. Chat room says
I'm
they
sure
heard it.
they heard it because they could still hear the same thing as you. I'm worried about the radio audience.
Please stand by. Paul Guerra. You call or he call. Weed.
Yeah, no, Mr. Martinez is texting in saying no, we could not hear that.
Oh, y'all couldn't hear it? We'd rather call.
We find a better audio piece for afterwards.
Well, he basically said, I'm going to fight this. The journalism is the bedrock of our democracy, and this speaks more of, that was horrible audio, Mark says. He just basically, it's not even worth repeating. We're not playing it again. I don't care. He basically said, it's his moment in glory. Like I said, they should have just let this go and let him just slowly disappear in the low numbers that he has in his podcast. But now they've made him the darling of the Democrats and the darling of liberals, and he's living his best life. He was an out of work, fired broadcaster who wasn't getting any phone calls from MSN Now. You notice that? No networks were calling him. CBS, NBC, ABC, all the news outlets that are out there, nobody was calling him. Even Chris Cuomo landed on his feet. Even what's his name? Tucker Carlson, who got whacked from Fox, landed on his feet. Everybody lands on their feet if you got talent, except for him and who's the horrible blonde woman, Joy Reid. But the administration didn't make a martyr out of Joy Reid, so nobody's heard from her or heard of her. And that would have been Don Lemon's case. But these guys have made an absolute martyr out of this guy, and he's going to win. And he's going to be even more popular than he is now. But again, I've been bagging on Pam Bondi all week long, as well I should. But on this one, I'll give her a pass because I think there are some fights you have to fight, even if you're going to lose. And if this tamps down journalism in terms of barging in on church services, because he didn't do that at a mosque, did he? He didn't do that at the temple, did he? He didn't do that at a Black Baptist church, did he? Let's take a break and let's see if we can find the audio from Don Lemon calling these people white supremacists and entitled white folks. Because remember, this whole invasion was based on the pastor's part-time work with ICE. That's why this one Minneapolis church was targeted. And when we come back, you'll hear Mr. Lemon talking about describing these people who he's never met, who, if they put him in a lineup at his arraignment today, he couldn't pick out one of them. But yet he goes on and calls them entitled and white supremacists and blah, 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 blah. That's not That's not a journalist. Is that objectivity? Is that somebody who's being fair and balanced? No, that's someone with an agenda. That's someone who's part of an operation. And that's not a simple observer. But again, this thing may not even make it to trial. But good on Pam Bondi for prosecuting him. And that's about all I can say good about Pam Bondi. Quick timeout. Have you been following the au pair case? The crazy story of a husband who teamed up with a girl to frame another man for the killing of his wife? Yeah, I know. I'll simplify it when we come back. Then about the hour, it's a Friday. Rick Bentley will be here. Speak with him. And we'll talk about what's going on with the two Republicans in the gubernatorial race. Come on, Sheriff Bianco and Steve Hilton. Can't we all just get along? I'm telling you, one of those guys has a chance in the general. Quick timeout. We're just getting started on a Friday. It's TRBS. It's the Ralph Bailey Show. Please stand by. More Paul Guerra. Patrick Flavin, I got his number. We'll talk with the defending champ, another two-time champion at the BC Open, 13 under after 3 days. And imagine the kid that shot the 60, what he shooted today, 62, 63 to get into a playoff, and then he loses a playoff. I'm telling you, golf is the toughest sport to break into the pros. Quick timeout. We are just getting started. I would stick around if you. Right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KRN, where we're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Mr. Bentley.
The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
Nobody's talking about that self-worth and purpose. We're talking about that. Nobody says it. There's more to you than what you're doing. Let's help you get there.
Let's help you get there. Let's just all agree that there's many different roads, but different people dealing with homelessness and living on the streets to get them.
Right, I agree with you.
And as long as we can start there, then I think we can start to make a bigger dent.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey.
Hey, can
from
you change that
Subaru.
to,
You know, Subaru A Lot to Love event is going on now through March 31st at Sangera Subaru. And of course, spring is the best time to get an incredible offer on that new Subaru you've been wanting. Like the 2025 Forester Sport CVT. Lease one now for only $219 a month for 36 months and just $5,700 due at signing. And remember, every Subaru always comes standard with symmetrical all-wheel drive. And don't forget, this offer ends March 31st. So stop by and see my good friends Damon Culbertson, Hassan Levy, and all the guys during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Check out your new Subaru for spring and hit the open road. Sangera Subaru, paving the way for a better community. 5500 Gasoline Alley Drive in the Bakersville Auto Mall, 24/7 at sangerasubaru.com.
Through March 31st, 2026, lease a 2025 Forester Sport CVT for $219 a month on a 36-month lease. $0 due at lease signing plus tax and license. 7,500-mile-year limit. 50 cents per mile overage. MSRP $40,814. VIN number SH617136. Monocode SFF-24.
Look up in the sky. Yeah, that's what they cry. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's them. It's Paul Sheldon's team, that well-oiled machine of Christine, Kelly, and Lynn. Okay, not superpowers, but still thousands of hours deciphering Medicare's whims, fighting the good fight, learning what works right. Christine, Kelly, and Lynn. So it might seem old-fashioned, but hard work with passion most often gives you the win. And the trio that knows are those Medicare pros, Christine, Kelly, and Lynn. You know, actually to many, they are superheroes. Christine, Kelly, and Lynn.
When Medicare matters, our team has the answers. Team Paul Sheldon.
398-2298.
Not again. This copier is always jamming.
We should call American Business Machines. Since 1927, American Business Machines, an authorized Canon dealer, has been providing reliable office solutions. From state-of-the-art copiers to advanced printers, we ensure your business runs smoothly. Visit abm1.com or call us today at 1-877-YES-ABM1. That's 1-877-937-2261. American Business Machines, your trusted partner for all your office technology needs.
The Crossroads of the West Gun Show is coming this weekend to the Kern County Fairgrounds in Bakersfield.
We're finding everything we're looking for, so we're impressed.
Awesome selection. Awesome. Yeah, just a lot more than I expected to see.
It's America's premier gun show with great deals on guns, ammo, scopes, accessories, and more. Sold at wholesale prices, plus jewelry, gift ideas, and door prizes.
We'll scour through, find the best bargain, come back and buy it.
Crossroads of the West Gun Show this weekend at the Kern County Fairgrounds in Bakersfield. All sales are conducted in compliance with the law. You can buy, sell, and trade at all Crossroads gun shows.
The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I can see that far away look in your eyes.
The Current Radio Studios are powered by. I knew this was going to happen.
Come on, man.
The Current Radio Studios are powered by
There it is.
Adaptive Networks. Isn't that cool?
I don't know if they can actually see.
No, it doesn't really show up. The color, I mean, you see a difference. Watch when I turn it off, if I can turn it off.
Hit that plus button on the top and you can make it a little bit brighter.
Yeah, but how do you turn the damn thing off?
That one, you have to hit the power button at the very, very tip. There you go.
There you go. Yeah, you can see the difference, but you don't see the color. Can I say something incredibly, ridiculously, stupidly inappropriate? Since it's a Friday.
I have my hand on the button just in case. But
No,
sure.
no. Not the language, the subject matter.
Oh.
What is the name of the downhill skier who just got engaged? Breezy wind, breezy south. What's the child's name?
Breezy Johnson.
Breezy Johnson. Did you hear what she confessed?
No, I did not.
She is bisexual.
Okay.
And she just got engaged to her male husband, male fiance. Is it really inappropriate to say every husband's dream? No.
I don't think it's that way.
I'm joking. I'm joking. What husband wants a bisexual wife that'll get with another woman? Come on. Who would possibly want that? Come on. It's 2026. Your wife wants to be with another woman, which could mean all kind of different scenarios. But no, I'm just kidding. It's inappropriate and stupid. It's just a Friday joke.
As a tear rolls down his eye.
Why would she bring that up? You just want to go medal. You lose, you fall, you crash, and your man is waiting there with a ring to get you up, and you go on television and talk about how you're bisexual and how you're into women.
And it's 2026.
I guess so. Good movie. Have you guys been following this Brandon Banfield case? I know Lisa has, our associate producer, but I did not know that they whacked the wife. They being Juliana Magalhaes, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, Magalhaes, and they killed this boy Josh Ryan to set him up as the suspect. But here's my point. She got sentenced today. She pleaded out, to manslaughter because she ratted out the main suspect. How many years do you think she got? In the wake of us discussing Chris Burdick, Maya Hernandez getting perhaps 15 years for involuntary manslaughter, what do you think this girl got for mandatory? Mandatory. What do you think she got for manslaughter? Now remember, manslaughter is premeditated. Involuntary manslaughter is I screwed up and left my child in the car.
Right.
What do you think she got?
6 years.
10 years. But yet Maya, for involuntary manslaughter, got 15 years or is about to get 15 years. I don't get it. I don't understand. Yes, I understand that sometimes you have to offer something to a known convicted criminal to get a bigger criminal. But in a murder case, really? Is her testimony really that vital? I just don't think so, particularly if you can convict her. She was guilty as hell. Then they wanted time served. They were shocked that she got 10 years. Are you kidding? Just because you played the rat? She participated in killing somebody to set up the fall for another person and kill that person. And she only got 10 years. I don't get it. Lisa, if you want to run over here and explain it to me, since you've been following this thing, maybe you know better than I. But they should have thrown the book at that woman. She had full intent. It's like Sammy the Bull Gravano. Killed 19 people. They gave him 5 years because he ratted out John Gotti. I don't get that. You couldn't get Gotti by yourself? Quick time out. It's Friday. KGT entertainment reporter Rick Bentley joins us next. I would stick around if I you. How are you, sir? I'm good. I'm good.
96.1 and
I'm golfing in the morning. Yeah, the tournament's been going on all week.
With SRN News.
Oh no, I was supposed to actually. That's
in
why you should say that.
Former
I was
CNN
supposed
host
to.
Don Lemon has pleaded not guilty to federal civil rights charges in Minnesota. The veteran journalist commentator is among several people accused in a January 18th protest at City's Church in St. Paul, where an immigration and customs enforcement official serves as a pastor. President Trump says a change in power in Iran would be the best thing that could happen as the U.S. administration weighs whether to take military action against Tehran. Trump made the comment shortly after visiting with troops in Fort Bragg, North Carolina on Friday, and after he confirmed earlier in the day that he's deploying a second aircraft carrier group to the Mideast for potential military action against Iran. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 48 points, the Nasdaq dropped 50, the S&P up 3. More at srnnews.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
After doing 40 years in prison for murder, police say Daniel Ray Myers tried that again Tuesday in Salem when they say he stabbed a woman repeatedly when she resisted his sexual assault. The DoorDash driver lived through that, and Myers was caught last night in Bakersfield, say Salem police. Speeding was likely the main factor in a fatal wreck last night in Bodfish, says the Highway Patrol. A 63-year-old man ran off the road on Lake Isabella Boulevard, hit a tree, and then an abandoned building. A man who police say threw bricks through windows at Moo Creamery and Dignity Health Arena and Convention Center on Truxton was caught Thursday morning. 40-year-old George Callahan faces several felony charges, including possession of a dagger. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-583-5795. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000
and our tournament is right around the corner. Ours is March 23rd.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at tra.com or call
So what's really going on?
5795. That's 800-583-5795. Tax Relief
Always
Advocates.
fun.
Real solutions for real people.
Start your day right. First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
We have some new players in this Donnybrook over the sewer system upgrade deal. I'm serious. We will talk jobs with America's Job Center. We will have state-of-the-art news and traffic and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and streaming live on the World Wide Web at KernRadio.com.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1
That first
and AM
scene
1180
when that guy walks into
You're
the
listening to the
church,
Ralph
I'm just
Bailey
like,
Show. Catch me weekday
oh,
morning,
Lord.
6 to 9 a.m. on First Look with Scott Cox,
Just
News
gotta
Talk
hang with it?
96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Sinners. Uh-oh. I smell a theme coming. It's a Friday, so for those viewing on YouTube can see KGT entertainment reporter Rick Bentley is live in studio with a theme I sense.
Well, it's Valentine's Day, so I thought maybe you want to put a ring on it. No.
5 to be exact.
Yeah, exactly. No, I figured with the Olympics going on,
Yes.
2 weeks of it on television, people got, talking about the events and all that sort of stuff. So I thought I'd bring you a little trivia quiz today.
Okay. You know how I love my trivia.
I am going to go through sports that may or may not have been in the Olympics.
Okay.
Your job is to say, yes, it was in the Olympics. No, it wasn't in the Olympics. And I will give you this codicil. It could be in the summer or the winter Olympics. So it's just we're not just doing the winter Olympic Games.
Okay.
Okay. So the question is, was this a real sport in an Olympics?
One of the few sporting events I have never attended, despite the fact that I was 21 years old when it was in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
I did not go.
Yeah.
I had just got back from working in Hilton Head and had no interest of really going. It was weird.
Well, there was so much panic before that because all we heard was, stay out of LA. It's going to be a nightmare. You're not going to be able to move for days.
And nobody was in town.
Everybody left.
Everybody left.
You could.
The freeways were wide open.
You could walk the freeways.
It was crazy.
I mean, yeah.
It was crazy
Yeah.
because I got back in mid-August and it was about a week or so left. And I was like, what is all this hubbub?
Yeah,
I was reading back east about all this traffic.
Nothing.
Everybody went to Big Bear, Palm Springs, Mammoth.
And again, I think they just beat everybody to death with it's going
Yeah.
to be a nightmare. You just be ready for it. And
Yeah.
boom, nothing.
Yeah.
So anyway.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. I'm going to start you with a very easy one. This
see, that's how
this
you
is
set
my
a guy up.
softball. I'm throwing this lob into you.
That's how he sets me up.
First one is American football.
American football.
I say that because there are people out there who, if I said football, they think soccer, and we know soccer's in the Olympics.
Yes.
American football
Was once in the Olympics.
Oh my gosh.
No.
No. Gee.
I thought maybe they'd
Boy,
that
was the easiest one. So
See,
we're
I-
doomed, man.
Well,
You're
yeah,
doomed. Okay.
I'm not a big Olympic guy.
Here's the next one. Live pigeon shooting.
No.
Live pigeon.
No.
Chris?
Clay shooting,
Chris?
but not pigeon shooting.
Oh, I don't know the answer to this one. I'm gonna.
Yes, it was an Olympic event in 1900.
Where they were shooting pigeons.
This event required participants to kill as many live birds as possible.
Really? Is this in New York City?
Where were the 1900 Olympics were?
I have no idea.
All right, you ready? Third
Yes.
one? Billiards.
Billiards was never in the Olympics.
You are correct.
Thank you. Oh, I got that right.
You got that
Sorry,
right.
I got that. I missed that one.
But Chris got it wrong.
That one I got wrong.
Yeah.
My apologies.
All right. Tug of war.
Tug of war, I bet was in some of the original Olympics.
You are correct.
Thank you.
From 1900 to 1920.
Thank you.
Okay. Polo. I heard
What do you say?
Oh, yeah.
I could see it.
I don't think so.
Ooh, it was at 5
Really?
different summer games.
Wow. Polo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Underwater swimming.
Yes.
Chris. You are correct.
Yes.
In 1900, competitors had to swim underwater for a distance and time.
That's how I used to try to get in shape for football. Do laps underwater
Oh, okay.
and play racquetball.
All right. The next one is going to sound dirty, but
Okay.
it's not. It's a legitimate
Or
sport.
is this a skier who's turned bisexual?
No.
No.
Motorboating.
Motorboating. One of my favorite sports.
I think you medaled in that, didn't
Yes,
you?
I did.
That's right.
I'm a gold medalist. Motorboating. No, motorboating was never in the Olympics.
Wrong.
Really?
1908. It was officially part of the London Games, and it featured high-speed boat racing.
They had high-speed boating in 1908.
Yeah,
that surprises
4 miles an hour.
I was going to say, yeah.
All right.
Canoe could beat them.
You're doing so well. I'm going to
I
keep
know.
going.
What, 2 out of 5?
Yeah.
2 out of 6?
Cheerleading.
Cheerleading. That would have been recent, and I would say yes.
Oh, you are on a roll. You missed that one.
Golly.
Man.
That is a very competitive sport.
It is. Yeah.
It really is.
Look, compare it to curling.
Thank you.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, it's like gymnastics almost.
All right. Mixed martial arts.
Yes, definitely.
Definitely not.
Wow.
Wait, what?
They've never had mixed martial arts.
That's
Oh,
crazy.
MMA. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh,
I'm thinking
mixed
karate.
Yes, that's what I was
taekwondo.
thinking.
You know, you like
Oh,
to-
you're thinking. Okay,
Yeah.
my bad. Yeah, I was thinking. Wah.
Yeah, same. Me too.
I didn't say
Wah.
I said
No, you
mixed
didn't.
martial arts, and I articulated.
All right. At least I'm consistent.
Yeah. Here we go.
Yes.
Solo synchronized swimming.
That's awesome.
Now that's funny. That's stupid enough to be true, but I'm going to say false.
Oh, it is true.
How can it be?
From 1984 to 1992, the swimmer had to go in by themselves and dance
swim.
and swim.
And so, how do they know when you're out of sync?
I just made the list.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, yeah.
Solo synchronized swim. Okay.
Croquet.
Definitely.
Yes.
Thank you.
And it was in the 1900 Summer Olympic Games. Apparently, in 1900, they didn't have much to do.
No
so, yeah.
kidding.
Yeah. All right. Hot air ballooning.
No way. No way.
Oh, you missed that one. In the
Really?
1900s, competitors competed for distance,
How is that a sport?
altitude. How's curling a sport?
At least there's some muscle action.
No, there
involved.
isn't.
You're sweeping and curling and aiming and
But see, if you think about it, if they're doing motorboat races, why wouldn't they do hot air balloon
right.
races?
that's crazy.
Right. Darts.
Yes. Very no darts. That's another competitive sport.
Right.
Sounds. I figure if I see it on ESPN, it's got to be in the Olympics.
Well, yeah.
And that's just not true.
I'm sure there's competitive beer drinking on ESPN
Yeah,
too. so-
yeah, and I'm sure. What is that when they throw the
Cornhole, I was
Yeah,
just
Cornhole,
about to say
yeah.
that.
cornholes.
Oh, that will eventually be one. Yeah.
yeah,
Squash.
definitely.
Not yet. But in
No.
2028, it will be.
Yes. Okay. So
You can
technically,
say
I
the
was
same about
right.
American football as well.
Yeah, that's where I got it.
There won't be American football, but there'll be flag football.
That's what I said. I said I thought flag football. I really
Yeah,
did say
but
that.
that's not American football. American football, you know, when the Patriots and the Seahawks played each other,
Yeah.
that was American football.
So what I played in 7th and 8th grade is in American football.
Well, it's probably high school or pee wee football, but it's not.
It's flag football, but it was.
See,
it
flag
wasn't-
football it's completely different.
Okay.
All right. Look, I'll go back and give you that one.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
because
Thank you.
you know,
Thank
after
you.
you've missed 27,
I
it's
know.
like 20. What's the
Well, it's
between
different with a
that
D and an F.
Life saving.
There is a skill to life saving. I tried to be a lifeguard, and I failed a portion where they had to put you in your clothes and your shoes, and I took off my shoes and I got upset. Yes.
I'm going to give you half.
Yeah.
It wasn't an official sport, but in 1900s, it was a demonstration sport. No medals were handed out.
Do you know the key to lifeguarding? Saving
Uh,
someone's life who's drowning?
running to dial 911.
Come up from behind them. If you come at them, they will panic and glop onto you and you'll both drown.
Well, that's the same rule.
But if you come up from behind them, true that.
Yeah.
True that. If you come up from behind them and grab them by the neck and you can drag them back, and you can just tell them, just let go, just don't do anything, just let me handle this. But
Same
if
as
you come
robbing.
at them, they panic,
Yeah.
like the scene in Officer and the Gentleman.
Life
Remember in
saving-
Officer and the Gentleman when the guy goes to the bottom of the thing and
Yeah.
they try to help him and he panics and they almost all drown? Just saying.
Yeah.
As a failed lifeguard.
Life saving, larceny, same thing.
Same thing. Same thing.
Lacrosse.
Ooh. One of the oldest sports in America has to be in the Olympics.
And yet it's not.
Really?
Yeah.
See, that's just plain bigotry. Bigotry against the Native Americans.
It is.
created
It really
lacrosse.
is. It really is. Pistol dueling.
That's so absurd. It has to be in there.
And it was.
How do you win?
They fired wax bullets at each other, and they were wearing protective gear.
I see. Okay.
Chess.
Tell that to Alexander Hamilton.
Exactly. Yeah. Chess.
That seems like a yes, but I'm going to say no.
It's a no.
Yeah, that seems like that would be in there.
Yeah. If you put curling in there, you can put it in.
Exactly.
Snooker.
Is that a form of billiards?
Yeah.
No.
No, it was not.
No. I never learned how to play snooker.
The standing high / long jump.
The standing high long jump, the idiotic thing they do at the combine to test your vertical leap. Negative.
It was.
Yeah, that's so stupid. I should have said yes.
From 1900 to 1912.
Well, is there a record there?
No, it just says similar to regular jumping, but performed without a running start.
That's ridiculous.
Bowling.
Bowling, I think, was recently implemented, was it not? It was not.
I give you half credit. It was a demonstration sport in Seoul, but only 20 countries participated, so
they got rid of it.
Never coming back.
Much to the chagrin of Mookie Betts, who was a fine bowler. Yeah. Did you know that?
I did know that.
The Dodgers shortstop?
Yeah.
Very fine bowler.
And finally.
Yes.
Painting, sculpting, writing, and other arts.
Absolutely not.
It was a competition at the Olympics that ran from 1912 to 1948, and medals were awarded.
Very nicely done, sir.
Thank you.
That's incredible research.
Well, it's just, things you think it's got to have been in the Olympics.
Yeah.
And then things you go,
no
way. And you go, live pigeon shooting? That was
and the one that stuck out to me was the single synchronized swimming. I mean, that's ridiculous.
In doing my research, I literally had to find 3 sources to prove to myself that somebody just didn't say, we're going to make this guy believe that they were thinking. Yeah. So,
well, how are the ratings thus far? Because I'm having a hard time watching it.
They're okay.
Yeah.
See, this kind of Olympics is very difficult for the networks.
Yeah, it is.
Because so much of it's happening on the other side. It's happening on the other side of the world, which means while we're asleep is when stuff's going on.
Right.
And so, or you have to watch it during the day. And a lot of people, like they actually have jobs.
Can't get they're airing it like at noon, at like 11 o'clock in the morning.
And then you get a recap of that. But in this day and age of instant information,
it pops up on your phone.
If I want to know if the American hockey team won, I don't have to wait, to see a replay at night or whatever. I think when we get to the Olympics in Los Angeles, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Because there'll be that East Coast, West Coast difference, but still, that so much will happen when they can go live and prime with it. So, the ratings aren't bad, but again, it's also one of those things where it's almost hard to tell anymore because so much is on Peacock, so much is on USA Network. It's spread out, and I don't think and then how much of it is I missed the slalom. I won't watch it till this weekend. And when does that count in the ratings? Do we do a 7-day out? Ratings. I think ratings are just sort of a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Because it's almost impossible to tell who's watching when and where and how. And you literally be picking up your phone watching the game. So.
Yeah. And your phone lights up. It's not as if you go searching for it.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to play golf Saturday morning last week when my phone went off, and boom, Lindsey Vaughn crashes. I didn't look it up; it just popped up on my phone. You can't avoid it.
And once you know that, you may want to say, "Gosh, I want to see if they have that run."
Right.
But you know what you needed to know, and so it's.
And I saw it, but I just kind of bumped into it about 10 o'clock one night.
Yeah.
I just happened to let me just check and see what's going on, and they were like, "Lindsey Vaughn coming up next." I was like, "Oh, I just bumped into it. It's crazy."
Yeah. So that's the tough thing about when the Olympics are on the other side of the planet.
Yeah.
It really is hard to sort of measure, and it's 2 weeks. I think until it's all sort of said and done, It also depends on how well the Americans keep doing. I mean, we're third in the medal race right now.
And there are no true superstars. The only really known superstar broke or got crashed. Lindsey Vonn.
Yeah.
There aren't really any big name standouts.
Look, I can't say that because in the world of, say, snowboarding, I'm sure there are people that are competing in it that everybody in the snowboarding world knows real well.
Right.
But there's not that Wheaties box kind of person.
Yeah,
that
that's
kind
a
of
really young
that
audience.
big name, right? That's gonna, everybody's got to see that person skate.
Yeah, there's no Katie Ledecky. There's no Simone Biles. There's no common household names. Rick Bentley is our guest. Let me ask you an impossible question, but I'll ask you nevertheless, as someone who does television every day. How in the world does Savannah Guthrie go back on television? Particularly if this thing ends as now most of us believe it is going to end after 12, 13 days.
And I want to keep a positive thought.
Absolutely.
It's getting harder every day to do that.
Sure.
Now, again, I pray I'm just wrong. I think you have. I think one of the great moments in television, as much as I hate to say this, was right after 9/11. And we all sort of looked at television and go, how do we watch TV again?
Yeah.
How do we laugh again? Is it right to do that?
Right.
And you remember that Saturday Night Live did the bit with, at that time it was Mayor Giuliani, and what's his name, with the head guy of Saturday Night Live, basically said,
Lorne Michaels,
thank you, said, is it okay to be funny again? And Giuliani said, well, you haven't been funny yet, so it's okay. I mean, there was a joke.
Right.
And it was like, okay, yeah, it's okay to laugh. And I think she's going to need time. But, if things go horribly, it is as horrific as it can be. People who lose spouses, they lose children.
One of the members of the Today Show team just got back from like a 6-month hiatus when her husband died of brain cancer at the age of 45.
Right. And she's back.
Yeah.
I know after my wife died. She died in late December, and I was scheduled to go to the Television Critics Tour in January. And I debated. It's like, do I keep pushing ahead with work? And for me, and I'm not going to say this works for everybody, okay? But I think sometimes when you have that sort of horrible loss, you have to put that next foot in front of the other one and just keep moving ahead.
But this is different because I went through the same thing. I was on the air when my dad died.
Yeah,
and I was supposed to take a week.
That's what I'm saying.
And I called and said, I just can't do it. I really can't, because I have to talk about it. And every time I try to rehearse that I'm talking about it, I break down.
Yeah.
So there's no way I can do it on the air. And they gave me another week.
Yeah.
I was gone for 2 weeks. But this is a national story.
It is.
That every single person who watches television is aware of. And I don't see, and plus I think she's going to live with the guilt of, did my celebrity cause this?
Yeah.
Did I play a role in this?
Good. Yes, she's going to have that. But I think everybody who loses somebody, it starts all that what if. Well, what if I had called the doctor? What if I had taken him in for an appointment? What if I had done this? Those what ifs are going to come no matter what. It gets amplified because it's a national story. The only thing I think that's going to help her, and I think what she's going to have, and again, I'm not a psychiatrist, so I'm not trying to tell her what to do, but I think she's got to realize that the vast majority of the people in this country are on her side.
Clearly.
They have great sympathy and empathy for her. In a time when we are a country so horribly divided, this is something as horrific as it is, we're all feeling the same thing. There by the grace of God, could be us.
Yeah.
And so I think if she will come back. She's a professional. How long it'll take, I don't know. And I think she'll have to come back and she'll have to address it.
Because even if the mother is brought back today, how does she, unless she brings her to New York and lets her live with her, how does she just be like, okay, I'll spend a couple of weeks with my mom. Okay, Mom, I'm flying back to New York now. I got to go back to work. See you later. Hope everything's okay.
Oh, she'll never do that again. She'll either take her to New York with her, and if that, she might then say, I'm retiring.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think that's what I would do. If I had made the kind of money and had a husband who's making money, I think I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to take like a year and spend it with my mom.
You know, the one thing I have learned,
particularly at the age of 84.
yeah, but the one thing I've learned about life is that there is no consistent way for people to grieve.
You're right.
Everybody grieves in a
You're absolutely
very,
right.
very different way. And I can't even fathom or try to think how she's going to deal with the grief. She could be one of those people who just says, I'm going to, you know, I got to get back to work. I need a distraction, or I'm too guilty. I don't know.
I mean, because there's just nothing worse. Even a long, slow illness is better than the unknown. Not knowing if she's okay.
Yeah.
Not knowing if she's in pain. Not knowing if she's alive.
How many children that got kidnapped or taken, and the parents just they don't want to believe something, you know, fatal has happened.
Right.
And even years and years and years, they're thinking little Billy or little Susie's going to walk back in that door today.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we live in a weird, but we've been living in this weird time with the media for so long. And it's that there's so many outlets that are trying to put their own spin on it. They want to have their own version of it.
Yeah, everybody's got their own speculation.
I just feel like, this is in my heart, that the majority of the country is just, their heart's breaking for her.
Yeah.
Because we can say, what if it was my mom? What if it was my dad? What if it was my kid? What if it was my husband? What, you know?
And reliving what your mother must have gone through. Can you imagine?
I can't.
When that man that we've seen in that video woke her up with that pistol in his belly and a mask on his head, standing over her in her bedroom, and she woke up like, oh my God, what is going on?
Yeah, you're right. Even if they went to check on her that next day and they found out, oh, she had an aneurysm and she's dead. Okay, that's horrible. It's awful. But you go, okay, hopefully she went quiet.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. But yeah, that's the thing to me about.
You know she's terrorized.
Oh, yeah.
You know there's blood involved, so there was some physicality to it.
Exactly.
And that's all you know.
Yeah. But as horrible as it could be, I'm trying to keep it, you know, in my heart, I'm hoping that this somehow, if there's justice in the world, her mom comes back to it.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah.
I hope so too. Anything else before I let you go? We got a couple minutes left.
Well, I just wanted to touch real briefly on the movie. I saw Wuthering Heights, the Margot Robbie film, based on the Emily Bronte book that you probably didn't read enough.
No, I had to read it. I was an English minor. I had to read it in women's.
Well, if you read the book.
If I had taken two more, I think either 2 or 3 more classes, I would have been a double major. But women's lit, I'm sorry. Jane Eyre, Emily Bronte, all that. I could eat a gun. I absolutely hated it.
Okay.
And maybe I'm a bigot, but the only female artist that I read at Cal State that I enjoyed was Zora Neale Hurston.
Okay, what? No Maya Angelou or no?
Well, I had read Maya Angelou. I had never read Zora Neale Hurston until I got to CSUB.
Yeah.
Believe it or not even in Morehouse.
If you've read the book, you won't recognize it in the movie.
That's what I heard.
It is criminal how this director has taken one of the great romance classics
and just butchered it
and just turned it into this S&M, sex, gross. I hated it. Everybody, you know, I kept screaming I wanted to scream at the screen, just jump off the moors. Do us all a favor. It would just.
What did they do at the ending?
What the ending? I don't want to ruin it for the people.
Well, don't ruin it.
Yeah. But the ending,
because I thought the original Wuthering Heights ending was outstanding.
If you read the book,
and I heard there was a debate over the ending.
The Kathy,
at least in the movie,
the character of Kathy in the book is dead halfway through the book. And Heathcliff sees her ghost.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
So that is completely gone. That, you know, it's like we don't kill her halfway through the movie. In fact, everything in the book except for Kathy and Heathcliff is pretty much left out. So instead of this complicated story of romance and it's all about two people who I thoroughly dislike.
Who's the male character?
It's played by Jacob Elordi.
Never heard of him.
He was in the recent Frankenstein movie.
Oh, okay.
Okay, he was Frankenstein.
Okay.
And so his performance isn't bad, but you know, if again going back to the original book, the Kathy character in the original book was like 19 when all this was happening to her. Now you got Margot Robbie, who's in her mid-30s, playing this character. And that throws off the whole storyline between
We
her
just had a
and
baby.
Yeah, it throws off her and Heathcliff's story. And I just hated the movie. I hated it. I gave it a D, and I was being generous with that. I should have gone lower on that.
Wow.
Yeah, it is. You know,
way to ruin a classic.
A lot of critics have those little stars, like 3 stars, 4 stars. I think there should be a case of we give human excrement blobs. Is that a safe way to say it?
Wow, that bad.
Yeah, it would get 5 of those from me.
Wow.
Oh, it is awful.
See, that's why I don't know
and
how you
again,
do what you do.
I love Margot Robbie.
I do too.
you know,
Who doesn't?
Well, and we'll talk off the air about one particular scene. You might force yourself to watch it on streaming. But,
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
You know, she was designated the most beautiful woman in the world.
Is she?
That's what some poll, some People magazine, I don't know what it was I read. She's the most beautiful woman in the world, supposedly.
Well,
like, I don't know about all that.
I put her.
I don't know about all that.
I put her in the top 10.
Yeah. I'll give her top 10, but not numero uno.
No.
Always good to see you, sir. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy Valentine's Day and enjoy the 3-day weekend.
I will. Happy Valentine's Day to you.
Thank you, sir. Rick Bentley, everybody. Quick time out. More of the Ralph Bailey Show on a Friday. Don't go anywhere. Wow, that's too bad.
This is AM 1180 KERN. Green Acres.
really?
This is 96.1 FM.
She's there just diddling herself, huh? Margot. Nice.
News this
Who'd she
hour
marry?
from
Who'd she
Town
just have a baby
Hall.
with?
I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Funding for the Department of Homeland Security is set to expire at
Debacle.
midnight. Correspondent
See,
Craig
that's what I don't know how
Funston
you do what you
reports.
do. You
Lawmakers
sit
have
through
left
these
town after failing to pass a Homeland Security funding bill. Democrats and the White House traded offers this week, but the Senate fell short of the votes needed to advance
I'm gonna hang
bills.
with it.
The expected result
hang
is
with it. I
a
gotta do
partial
tonight.
or mini government shutdown affecting the DHS, which employs more than 250,000 workers. The shutdown could drag on a while.
Is it
Congress
really?
now on a 10-day break.
I've only seen
Greg
the Lawrence
Clugston,
Olivier one.
Washington.
President Trump was
That's
at
the
Fort
best
Bragg,
one,
North
I think.
Carolina today. In remarks, the president salutes the Special Forces soldiers who went into Venezuela and emerged with President Nicolas Maduro.
Last month,
That's
we
too
proved
bad.
this truth once again when
All right,
some of our
sir.
greatest soldiers
Good to see it. That was fun. That was fun.
Franklin successfully captured the outlaw
Have a
dictator
wonderful
of
weekend.
Venezuela,
We'll see you
Nicolas
next Friday.
Maduro, and brought him back to face American justice, where he's now
Why
now
am I
waiting.
so tired?
And that was an amazing night.
The president also said a change in power in Iran would be the best thing that could happen as the U.S. administration weighs whether
I
to
get
take
up till 9
military
o'clock
action
this
against
morning.
Tehran. California
That's why I
Attorney
didn't go to
General
the
Rob
tournament.
Bonta wants to know why families in the historically black
Oh,
neighborhood
fancy.
of West Altadena did not receive evacuation orders over the deadly Eaton fire last
And I have
year.
no idea what I'm
Families
having for dinner.
forever changed because of the Eaton fire deserve nothing less than
No
our full commitment to finding
idea.
and sharing the truth.
On Wall Street, a mixed day as the Dow
Patrick
was up by
Flavin.
48 points, the Nasdaq dropped 50, the
5:30 here.
S&P
You want us
500
done?
advanced 3. More on these stories at townhall.com.
You know, it's tough to know who to trust with your health. There's always some new
Back-to-back
miracle
champion.
supplement out there, another influencer telling you this is the
loves
answer.
him some
25
bacon
years
for
ago, a
shit.
friend of mine, naturopathic Dr.
That's
Dennis
60
Black,
grand
saw
this
the
guy's
nutritional value in our food decline. He created something called Texas Superfood, not for fame or social media buzz, but to genuinely help people get the nutrition they need. 55 vine-ripened fruits and vegetables specifically selected for maximum nutritional value, plus enzymes and probiotics, all in one simple solution. Customers really feel the difference in about 7 days. More energy all day long, mental clarity instead of brain fog, better sleep, just feeling better about their health and their life. Over 1 million bottles sold, not because of fancy marketing, but because real results create loyal customers. Mix the powder in your morning smoothie or take capsules on the go. Go to TexasSuperfood.com. Use the discount code Mike G to get 35% off your first order. Plus, there's a 100% satisfaction guarantee. That's TexasSuperfood.com. Discount code Mike G.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1.
We got
AM 1180
it says something's breaking in the
KERN.
Guthrie
He killed
case.
before, and he's tried it
That's what somebody
again
in
with a
chat was
40-year gap, say police. I'm Chris Davis, and the man was caught last night in Bakersfield, say police in Salem, who had been on the lookout for Daniel Ray Myers, who they say attacked a woman who was making a DoorDash delivery Tuesday, tried to rape her, and when she resisted him, stabbed her several times. She survived, but Myers was wanted for attempted murder. He had been in prison for murder and burglary beginning in 1984 and had been let out on parole January 21st. A fatal wreck in Bodfish. That happened just after 5 last night, says the Highway Patrol. They say a 63-year-old man, and they don't know why yet, was speeding on Lake Isabella Boulevard just south of Kilbreth Drive, lost control.
Latest thing I see here from USA Today says police test gloves in Savannah.
Yeah, that's all I see.
Case.
They're talking about something about a SWAT team headed to some place in Arizona.
Someone said that yesterday too, though.
Oh.
And I tried looking that up, and I was like, I haven't seen anything about a SWAT team.
That man, police haven't said how they believe the man died. No name has been released, and police have not said whether they are looking for any more info. Plenty of damage done with bricks in downtown Bakersfield Thursday morning, but police say they were able to catch the man who threw the bricks. 40-year-old George Callahan was arrested and charged with felony vandalism, burglary, resisting arrest, possession of a dagger, and 2 felony warrants. Police say he busted glass at both Moo Creamery on 18th and Dignity Health Arena and Convention Center on Truxton. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What do you think? This is the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You got to get a post like this. Little thing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hour 2 of the broadcast on this Friday the 13th. For those a little suspicious, really? Superstitious, suffering from triskaidekaphobia, the fear of Friday the 13th. Goes so far. Next time you're in a hotel, look for the 13th floor. Doesn't exist, even though it exists. Guess what? If you're on the 14th floor, you're on the 13th floor. I don't care what they tell you. I don't give a damn what the elevator says. You're on the 13th floor. We still got lots to do. We'll get into the spat going on between our 2 Republican gubernatorial candidates. One calling the other a BLM sympathizer, the other calling him a Gavin Newsom-like candidate. The government shutdown is about to go into effect in just a couple of hours. How do I know that? Half the House is in Munich, Germany, along with Gavin Newsom, who showed up. Good googling. And our Black History Month moment in the 5 o'clock hour will focus on, as we wrap up the BC Open, the Bakersfield Open, Charlie Sifford, one of the pioneers of African-American golf, and the man who Tiger Woods named his only son after. His name is not Charlie, Charles, and they call him Charlie. His given name is Charlie something Woods. I forget what his middle name is. Who just committed to, much to everybody's chagrin except me, Florida State. Why should not everyone be shocked that he's not following in his father's footsteps and going to Stanford?
Hey, his middle name's Axel, by the way. And
why isn't he going to Stanford?
Because they currently live in Florida?
No. Because his sister's going there. Who wants to go to college with their sister?
True.
You know what I'm saying? Your older sister at that? Like your younger sister, you'd be like, get out of my dorm room. What are you doing here? Get out of here. But your older sister, No, you don't go to college with your older sister. And I'm serious. Y'all are like, Ralph, people don't make decisions about going to college. At that age,
Yeah, they do.
he's a junior. He's not even a senior. He's a junior. Of course, stupid kids make decisions like that. And what? Dad's going to bark at that? He's right up the road in Tallahassee. Dad lives down there in Jupiter. Little in-state tuition, save Dad a couple bucks. Now that's funny. Save Tiger a couple of bucks. 842-537-6842 KER. And who you got?
Ray is on the line.
Ray, you're on the Ralph Bailey Show.
All right, Ralph. Let me start with I love you like a brother, man. But
thank you.
I got a criticism. I in my heart of hearts, I believe that you're a man who speaks and thinks for himself.
Well, feel free.
Thank you. When you criticize the cabinet, I can't help, and it's probably my brainwashing. I can't help but contrast them with the previous administration's person in that role. So it takes on a new light if we compare them, not just to look at what their moment-to-moment actions are. They're fallible, they're making mistakes, but the previous administration, they were worse, I would think.
Well, I've talked about that, and that's every president's dream. Every president, other than maybe Gerald Ford, wants to follow a failed president. Franklin Roosevelt loved following Hoover. Ronald Reagan loved following Jimmy Carter. I mean, you want to, and Trump was following the worst of them all. And this gives you the opportunity to be average and to be considered great. And we started that way. We owned several issues. There are several issues that are out there. The Republicans are on the 80% approval rating on 80-20 issues, transgenderism, parents' rights, the immigration issue. But I think we fouled it up. The Epstein issue, we fouled that up. Issues that we owned, absolutely owned. And then Pam Bondi comes out and says that the list is on my desk, and then comes out the next day and says, what list? And these prosecutions, these revenge prosecutions, they're absolutely going nowhere. And this hatchet that we took to immigration as opposed to a scalpel. I mean, just for a minute, imagine had we just simply even began. If the ultimate goal was to ultimately get rid of every single illegal immigrant, okay, fine. Even though I disagree with that, but let's just assume that's okay. If they had just started the first 6, 8, 9 months just getting rid of the criminals and then eased into getting rid of every other illegal alien, then fine. But they took a hatchet to this thing, and the numbers don't lie. Trump's approval ratings are in the 30s. We're months away from a midterm. Pam Bondi just made a jerk of herself. Kristi Noem, in my next segment I'm going to show, is a despicable liar. Pete Hegseth is incompetent. Kash Patel is incompetent. There's only a couple of people, the Secretary of the Treasury, Rubio, the Chief of Staff, there are only a couple of people in here that can, in my opinion, are decent members of this cabinet. But that's just me.
I appreciate that. Maybe we could, maybe I could buy you a drink or light one up with you some night.
All right. Take care, man. Thanks for the call.
Thank you.
842-537-6842-KERN. I don't smoke marijuana outside of my bedroom. Like literally. I don't even smoke when I play golf. I used to take a pen with me because it makes me concentrate. But I don't even do that anymore. Because I play at a country club. The last thing I need to be, we saw this black guy smoking weed on hole 10. You know what I'm saying? I don't need that. But thank you for the offer. I really appreciate it. And I don't drink really. Isn't that weird? God, you get to a point in life and I just have no desire to go out and drink it anymore. That's old age, Jack. What do you got on the board there, Chris Burdick?
Why Democrat Party say the black community, they're not smart because they don't have ID to vote and they don't know how to use a computer?
Well, we've been talking about this all week since the Save America Act has come up. I apologize again because on Wednesday I kept calling it the FACE Act, and that obviously has to deal with Don Lemon and what he did and what he was arraigned for today. But the Save the America Act, which the Democrats have a problem with, which is one of the reasons that the government is going to shut down in about 8, 9, 10, 11, about 5 hours from now. TSA, FEMA, Secret Service aren't going to get paid, Coast Guard, FAA. The Save America Act, and there's part of it that I'm like, well, is that really necessary? There's no question. It's almost 100%. And again, this is another 80-20 issue that Republicans own. How many are there? And yet, we talked about this. I don't know where you've been. We talked about this all week. I went off on Chuck Schumer yesterday, as a matter of fact, for trying to usher back in allusions to Jim Crow, which is irresponsible and stupid and completely out of his lane. And I'm sorry, you can call me a bigot if you want, but I don't want to hear any white person lecturing me, even as a young African American who lived through the civil rights movement, but wasn't really. I was a young child, not even a kid. I was a child, almost an infant in the early 60s and throughout much of the 60s. But I don't want to hear Chuck Schumer tell me about Jim Crow. And I don't want to hear him comparing, making somebody prove who they are to what went on in the 1960s. And it's just like the thesis of the show, stay away from the Third Reich, because there's nothing to compare to it. And there's not much you can compare to the plight of African Americans in the early 1960s, when, as I said yesterday, my father would have gone to jail if he tried to marry a white woman when he graduated from Morehouse College. When he graduated from Morehouse College, he could not vote in the state of South Carolina. His wife could not vote in the state of Georgia. Not till 1965, when they were 23 years old, could they vote. Thanks to Lyndon Johnson, the biggest bigot who ever sat in the White House. So don't compare this to that by simply saying you've got to prove who you are. Because the civil rights movement and Jim Crow involved poll taxes, where I've told you the story of Hilton Head, and it involves my dad. My dad was a young med student when, in the mid-60s, white developers figured out Hilton Head Island was a little island off of South Carolina. And if you've seen the movie, what's the movie with Mel Gibson? And he's a killer. He used to be a killer before the revolution, and they call him back, and now he's got a family, but now he's got The Patriot?
Patriot, yeah.
The Patriot. There's a scene in The Patriot where he takes his kids as a safe haven. It's got white sands, blah, blah, blah. That's Hilton Head Island. And many slaves, that's where slaves hid out during the civil rights, or during the Civil War. So by the turn of the century, getting into the 20th century, Hilton Head was predominantly black. And it wasn't until the 1960s, when Arnold Palmer rushes in this era of televised golf, that developers realized we've got coastline island property that these black folks own. We got to run these guys out of here and put up some golf courses. So they pulled up poll taxes that they couldn't afford and ran them all out of Hilton Head, or gave them exams where they couldn't vote. And that's where I'm getting to. But it's a family story my father would live it every time we bring it up, because my grandmother, his mother, had 7 sisters, and they all had property in Hilton Head. And it's about 1965. My dad's at Meharry Medical School. He doesn't have 2 nickels to rub together. And he said, if you can just wait 5 years, I will pay you double what they're paying you. Just give me 5 years to get up on my feet. Let me get through my residency. Let me get through my internship. I'll have a few bucks. I'll pay you double. And they sold out for cheap. And now we own like 2 acres, me and my uncle, in Hilton Head. We could have owned unbelievable property at a really cheap price. And it drove you just mentioned Hilton Head, and my father's head would snap. Don't talk about that. I don't talk about that. Anyway, the side point of that is those same people were given exams, impossible exams, to be able to vote. So to compare having to show some sort of ID, like one must do to buy alcohol, like one must do to buy a car, what one must do to fly, you name it. You can't do anything in this country without an ID. Now, what gets funky is the birth certificate. Now, my mother's 83 years old. And I'm not sure my mother could come up with her birth certificate. I don't think my mother was born in a hospital in 1942. I think my mother was born in my grandmother's home in 1942. Now, that doesn't mean that there's no record of her birth, but I'm just saying it is a burden on some older folks to come up with these things. And I'm sure I know my mother has a passport, but not the average 84-year-old Black woman has a passport. That's a little hinky, but you should be able to prove who you are and your citizenship. That's not that hard. I had to go get a birth certificate about 10 years ago, and you call the Hall of Records and the Secretary of State in the state of Georgia, and it's boop, bop, boop. I think it was $40. And don't tell me, oh, well, they don't have $40. Well, they ain't got $40, and voting is the least of their concerns. So I don't think it's that big a deal. It's not going to get through the Senate. I think we're going to have to make some changes. I think we're going to have to trim it down to simply present an ID and get rid of the birth certificate and the passport portion of it. But Democrats are once again on the wrong side of this thing. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. We'll come right back, and I'll give you the latest on Nancy Guthrie. Somebody in the chat room was saying there was a massive development, but the only thing Chris and I can find is what I knew this morning is that there was DNA found, but they have no idea whose it is. This is either the Mexican cartel or the luckiest amateur I've ever heard of. How can an amateur, somebody who knew her and isn't a professional criminal, fool the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Department for 2 weeks? With all these secretive emails, plus you hear from Harvey Levin, TMZ got yet another letter. And again, no idea whether this thing is authentic. And now they're believing that they've all been bogus. He wants a Bitcoin, but that's worth $67,000. But I'll explain why that is moot. We'll get into that when we come back. It's TRBS on a Friday. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KRN, where we stream live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and
Maker.
What time is everything else?
Casey's at 5:15, and that's the only other thing I'm saying here today.
No Mike?
I'm not saying it here.
That's weird.
Where the heck are your parents at? I mean, can I not help but ask that? Where are the parents?
The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
Hope you were with us yesterday when Daniel Petrie absolutely threw us a curveball. It's just weird, stupid coincidence, but somebody called earlier in the week and asked about the deficit. And we said, well, just about every week, Daniel comes on and says, it's 29 billion added to it. And there was a period of a couple of weeks ago where it was even higher than that. Well, shockingly, with interest rate or with inflation falling today, the deficit was down yesterday when Daniel Petrie joined us yesterday, as he does every Thursday at 4:30. And he told us that gold is down, but it's still higher than it's been in a very long time, as is the very same case with silver. That's what Daniel Petrie brings to this broadcast. He gives you an update on all what's going on economically, and his political knowledge will tell you what's going on inside the Beltway, and again, how that impacts you. Call in today at 395-9400, 395-9400. Daniel Petrie and the folks at Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors.
This broadcast is for informational purposes only. Does not constitute a solicitation or offer to buy or sell any security, future option, or other financial instrument, or to offer or provide any investment advisory or other services to any person in any jurisdiction by Daniel Petrie or MPWA Inc., DBA Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors. Any views expressed in this broadcast by us are prepared based upon the information available to us at the time, and we are under no obligation to update our views.
Last week, there was the Paul Sheldon sighting. Kind of rare and very exciting. Everyone asking, where has he been? Of course, his clients weren't worried about their Medicare, even when Paul in person wasn't there, because there's Christine, Kelly, and Lynn. The grandkids like to play, Where's Waldo? Granddad's asking, hey, where'd Paul go? Just games that are fun to win. But when push comes to shove and the day is done, we know it's covered, so it's all in fun. Because there's Christine, Kelly, and Lynn. Over the years, so many have said it. The guy's a genius. Gotta give the man credit. He put it together way back then. Brought along those 3 Medicare pros, who of course by now everyone knows are Christine, Kelly, and Lynn.
When Medicare matters, our team has the answers. Team Paul Sheldon.
398-2298.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know you can't cook. You're not one of those people who say that they can, but when people come over for dinner, they find out the hard way, you can't. You can't even microwave popcorn, and that's literally just one button. Plus, measuring and patience are huge parts of cooking, and that's just not you. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates. Pricing coverage match limited by state law.
At Target, we're unlocking all the feels this Valentine's Day. It's the perfect time to spread extra love and spoil everyone on your list with unforgettable gifts. First, give a cuddle-worthy surprise with the cutest plush toys, or get party ready and treat yourself to stylish women's dresses you'll heart. Both 20% off. Then dive into the ultimate cozy celebration with your faves with 30% off select women's pajamas. There's something sweet for all your special someones, even you. Find Valentine's Day gifts for everyone at Target.
The Armstrong and Getty Show, weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
And her name is G. L. O.
So the FBI has finally upped the reward, and it's still a paltry $100,000, which makes this alleged kidnapper's request for a Bitcoin, one Bitcoin, which according to experts is worth, I should have asked this from Daniel yesterday, but they're saying it's worth between $56,000 and $66,000. Well, if that's all you want, then just fess and we'll give you the reward. You're making an additional 40 grand. That's why I think this whole thing is bogus. I think all these letters, you don't send it to TMZ. You don't send it to a local Tucson station. That's just not normally how it works. But, you know, who knows? What do I know? It's 2026. Who the hell knows? Chris Nanos, this incompetent, you know, I shouldn't call him incompetent because this is a gargantuan, difficult, nationally focused case. And maybe for what he is and where he is and for the county size that he reigns, maybe he's a very good sheriff. You know, not every sheriff in the state or in the county, or in the country could handle a nationally focused story like the disappearance of one of the most famous television personalities' moms. You know what I'm saying? You've always heard me say that local attention is one thing, and even statewide attention, even in the state of California, is one thing. But the national spotlight is blinding, absolutely blinding. You're dealing with some of the smartest, savviest reporters in the country. You're dealing with some of the largest news organizations like CNN to go, all over the world. And, you know, it's like that old Andy Taylor joke. You know, we're used to catching chicken thieves and drunks. And now here we have one of those famous people that America's mom's missing, you know. So maybe he's a good sheriff, but they have bungled this from the get-go because it was 2 days before they called in the federal government. And if you're wondering why the FBI didn't go in directly, they can't. They have to be summoned. There's a thing called states' rights, and if it's a state case, then it's up to the state and the county to handle it unless you call in the FBI. And as I've screamed from day one, the minute Sheriff Nanos realized this is the Today co-host's mother, he had to call in for federal help right then. But no, let's remember, sheriffs are elected officials, and this would be a big moose on the wall for Sheriff Nanos, and he wanted to go it alone for 48 hours. And then he realized he was drowning. And the longer this went with an 84-year-old woman, the less likely it was going to end well. And finally called in the FBI. They have described now, which is absolutely no help, but I guess it eliminates tall people. But they've given a description of the guy seen in the video. They're saying that he's a male, 5'9" to 5, because that was even debated at some point. There was some point where some of the experts were saying, based on the eyebrows, they thought it was a woman pretending to be a man. But they're saying it's a male, 5'9" to 5'10", medium build, with let me get this right, a 25-liter Ozark Trail backpack. You know what that is? I've never heard of that either.
Never heard of it.
But apparently it's a pretty popular backpack. And so they've got a lead. Even the president sounded optimistic as he was getting on Air Force One this morning. He went down to Fort Bragg, North Carolina to deal with the troops and to thank the fellas that captured Maduro. But it's day 12 or day 13, one or the other, and it just, well, let's just keep our negative thoughts to ourselves and say a prayer for the Guthrie family. I really can't imagine. The only thing worse is if it were a child. Quick time out. We'll talk about the two Republican gubernatorial candidates and the departure soon of Kristi Noem.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I don't feel like walking.
With us 7 News, I'm Keith Peters
I'm
in
so
Washington.
lazy
The key
today.
measure of inflation fell to a nearly 5-year low last month as apartment rental price growth slowed and gas prices fell, offering some relief to Americans still grappling with the sharp increase in costs of the past 5 years. Friday's report suggests inflation could be cooling, but it comes after the cost of food, gas, and apartment rents have soared since the pandemic. President Trump says a change in power in Iran would be the best thing that could happen as the U.S. administration weighs whether to take military action against Tehran. Trump made the comment shortly after visiting with troops in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 48 points, the Nasdaq dropped 50, the S&P advanced 3. More details at srnnews.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
A felon accused of attempted murder in Salem caught in Bakersfield, say Salem police. Daniel Ray Myers is accused of trying to rape a woman who was making a DoorDash delivery Tuesday and then stabbing her several times when she resisted. Myers just got out of prison after 40 years on a murder rap. A 63-year-old man was killed in a wreck yesterday evening on Lake Isabella Boulevard in Bodfish, says the Highway Patrol. They say he was speeding, ran off the road, hit a tree, and then a building. Bakersfield PD is looking for a man in his mid-30s who they say chucked a rock at a passing car, doing $400 worth of damage back on January 9th on Brundage Lane. He's blonde and had on a black sweater. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Attention, Medicare beneficiaries in Kern County. If you're eligible for Medicare and looking for a doctor who listens and cares about you with minimal wait times and prompt referral authorizations, it's time you learned about QualCare IPA. You know, for years, I've been telling you QualCare IPA contracts with most Medicare Advantage health plans and provides you with access to a large network of outstanding doctors and quality hospitals right here in Kern County. Medicare Advantage health plans go beyond original Medicare benefits coverage, and understanding these coverage differences may be confusing. Call us today at 661-554-4544 and let us help you understand your options for 2026. Call today, 661-554-4544. That's 661-554-4544. Get the information you need and the coverage you deserve. For accommodations of persons with special needs and meetings, call 661-554-4544. TTY 711.
Start your day right. First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
We have some new players in this Donnybrook over the sewer system upgrade deal. I'm serious. We will talk jobs with America's Job Center.
Dude, when we have a
We will have
3-hour
state-of-the-art news and traffic and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and streaming live on a World Wide Web at kernradio.com.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
But it wouldn't be nothing.
Interesting man, Mr. Brown. My daddy's home state, South Carolina. 842-5376-842-KERN. Kristi Noem is in deep trouble. I think her days at the White House are numbered. She's out now. She was in, I think, Arizona, trying to get back on the president's good side, alluding to the Save the America Act and tying that into the 2020 election, because that's how you get on Trump's good side. You know, he keeps saying that he didn't win, Biden didn't win in 2020, that it was rigged. And that's her connection to the Save America Act, because she's trying to save her job. I don't know which one you have. I forgot which one's which, but because we've got two Kristi Noem audios, don't we?
So the first one he gave me is the dog story, and the second one was meeting Kim Jong.
Okay, let's hear the dog. This is her. She was being interviewed about. I don't know. I'm assuming most of you are aware of this. That in her book, she chronicled the fact that she had to kill a goat who had gone crazy, and her 14-month-old puppy, which she deems. I mean, aren't we all most dog lovers?
Yeah.
A 14-month-old is a puppy, right?
A puppy.
That's not a full-blown dog. Yeah, I can remember Rusty at 14 months. He was tiny. And then he got, by the time, what adulthood is like 2 years? About 2 is when they get to like a good size. And then by the time he was 5, he was a big fatty. My mother used to yell at me, "Look how fat you got, our dog." I was like, because I would feed him, and then we would have dinner, and then I would feed him off my plate. Just drove my mother nuts. That's why, that's why my mother had me stop eating in my room. Like the big thing in my life was 9th grade, and my mother finally letting me eat in my room. And it was like, I'm finally a man. I don't have to sit at the table because I started playing sports. So I'm coming home, at 7:30, 8 o'clock, because my dad would have to pick me up, because my sister was like an infant, my youngest sister, so my mom couldn't drive out to Sherman Oaks. So finally, she was just like, "Fine, just go." And then she came into my room, and I'm sitting there feeding Rusty, and she's like, "You are eating at the table. I'm telling you, stop feeding that damn dog." And I was like, "But he loves you. He loves it." And I would always try to make, "Mom, he loves it. Boy, you're feeding him neck bones." I would say, "Mom, he's a black dog. He's African American. We bought him in South Central. Boy, we didn't buy that dog in South Central. Stop lying." Well, whatever. He's a black. Anyway, here is Kristi Noem.
In your new book, it's called No Going Back. You include a story about shooting your dog, despite your team telling you not to put that in the book. I have to say the decision didn't go down well. To include the story about the dog, it's not gone down well. Many people are questioning your political future.
Well, I don't think you have the facts straight. This was a vicious, dangerous dog that was a working dog. And I had to make a choice between the safety of my children and an animal that was killing livestock and attacking people. So it's included because a lot of politicians run from the truth.
Was it a
They
puppy?
try to
Was it a
hide
puppy?
from tough decisions. It was a very hard decision for me. It was 20 years ago.
Was it a puppy?
No, it was an adult working dog. It was an adult working dog that was attacking livestock
14 months old.
and killing
The dog was
livestock.
14 months old.
It was a year and a half old, the dog was, yes.
Yes, it was a year and a half old. It was 14 months. I'm putting this all together just to show you how incredibly dishonest this woman is. Like 14 months is not a year and a half.
Nope.
It's not even close. She's just ridiculously dishonest. And she always meets her dishonesty by trying to say that you're lying. Do you hear the beginning of that bite? Well, I don't think you have the facts right. What facts don't we have right? The dog was 14 months old, and you shot it. And by the way, Governor, at the time, soon to be DHS Secretary, God forbid, many families deal with out-of-control dogs, but I didn't hear Joe Biden putting a shotgun to Major, that dog who was eating up the Secret Service. And even if he did, I didn't see him write about it in his memoirs. But you did that out of self-service. You did that because you thought America would eat it up. That they would call you weak as a woman, so you'd show just how South Dakota tough you are by having to make what she calls the tough decision of putting a damn muzzle of a shotgun at the head of a dog, a 14-month-old puppy, and then lie about it after you wrote about it. Yes, he was 14 months. He was a year and a half. What? This is the coup de grace. Well, no, we'll get to the coup de grace, but this is another just blatant lie that she thinks, it's as if she thinks her good looks will just like put us into some kind of, Svengali-like trance and not hear what she's saying. Here's more from Dishonest Christie.
And one specific one, quote, I remember when I met with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un, I'm sure he underestimated me, having no clue about my experience staring down little tyrants. I've been a children's pastor after all. Did you meet Kim Jong-un?
Well, as soon as this was brought to my attention, I certainly made some changes and looked at this passage, and I've met with many, many world leaders. I've traveled around the world. As soon as it was brought to my attention, we went forward and have made some edits. So I'm glad that this book is being released in a couple of days and that those edits will be in place and that people will have the updated version.
So you did not meet with Kim Jong-un. That's what you're saying.
I've met with many, many world leaders. I've traveled around the world. I think I've talked extensively in this book about my time serving in Congress, my time as governor, before governor, some of the travels that I've had. I'm not going to talk about my specific meetings with world leaders. I'm just not going to do that. This anecdote shouldn't have been in the book. And as soon as it was brought to my attention, I made sure that was adjusted. So
world leaders and
This anecdote, where not only does she lie about meeting Kim Jong-un, that's not enough. No, not for lying Christie. She has to create a lie that makes her look tough and intimidating to Kim Jong-un. Play the very first part of that just one more time for me. Listen to how she not only lies, how she never met the man, but how she dominated him.
Specific one, quote, I remember when I met with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un, I'm sure he underestimated me, having no clue about my experience staring down little tyrants.
Staring down little tyrants. Because I've met them all, including Kim Jong-un. And I know he underestimated me because I'm a badass who once took the muzzle of a shotgun and had to make the tough decision of killing a goat and a 14-month-old puppy. Because I'm badass. I should be Secretary of War. And now the ultimate lie. I think she lied about Renee Good, but we won't even go there because there hasn't been an investigation, which is a whole nother story that I'm not going to get into about bagging on Kash Patel. But now there is a probe on one of the incidents that didn't get as much attention as Renee Good or Alex Preddy. And that was the case, and I'm sure many of you are aware of, where an agent shot 3 men were allegedly involved in taking sticks and a shovel to an agent. Well, guess what? Todd Lyons, one of the heads of ICE, examined this, and they discovered that the agents lied under oath and will be prosecuted. There was no shovel. There was no sticks. And yet Kristi Noem carried that lie, just like she lied about Renee Good, just like she lied about Alex Preddy, that he came down there to cause mayhem and to assassinate those agents, despite the fact that that was his second encounter with agents. That was his second armed encounter with agents. And in the previous encounter with agents, he destroyed federal property, had a gun on him, didn't shoot anybody, and didn't get shot. This woman is as dishonest as the day is long and does not deserve to be in that position. Just the lie about Kim Jong-un should be enough not to get you confirmed. Is it not? Am I being unreasonable about this? That you can lie in a book about meeting somebody, and not only do you lie, it'd be like me telling that Muhammad Ali story where I actually did meet Muhammad Ali, and I changed the story to, and we were just messing around, and I just accidentally popped the champ in the jaw and knocked him to the ground. I mean, he got up and everything, but I knocked him flat out. And I had to help him up to the ground and said, "Sorry, champ." He said, "That's okay, son. That's one of the best punches I ever saw." That's how I'm going to tell that story from now on. I'm not going to tell the truth that the man called me out and I didn't even know he was talking to me. If you haven't heard it, the 3 of you, I was an intern at CNN. I had worked at CNN while I was living in Atlanta, going to Morehouse College. And one summer, thanks again, this is what life is all about. You need help. You need somebody just kind of pushing you. I was just laying around the house one summer. It was summer of '83. And my mother was like, "Why don't you get a job, you lazy bum?" And of course, I was like, "Mom, I worked my butt off at Morehouse College." Spelman College, actually, but that's beside the point. And she said, "Well, I thought you wanted to be a journalist." And I said, "I do." She said, "You just got through interning at CNN. Why don't you go work at CNN here in town?" And I was like, "You know what, Mom? You're not as dumb as I thought." I said that in my head. I didn't say that to my mother. And I said, "That's a brilliant idea." Because I interned at the Motherlode. I interned where Ted Turner came to work. So I immediately got the internship. And I worked there for about 8 weeks during the summer. They're located right on the corner of Sunset and Cahuenga. That's why I can't eat Indian food. Because it was my job every Tuesday and Thursday to go down to this little Indian restaurant on Sunset Boulevard and get them this big box of Indian food. And we were on the 7th floor, and I'd be in the elevator, and my nose would be running, and I would just smell this. And I can't even eat. And I used to love Indian food. I used to like Thai food. I used to love all that stuff. Can't eat anymore. And so during the summers, when when Larry King was doing a show in DC, he would bring his show to Los Angeles during the summer and do the show from the studios at Sunset Cahuenga. And his producer was a tall Indian woman, 7'11", not feather, Tammy Haddad. And it was about 5:45 on a Friday. And, you know, Friday afternoon, everybody's gone at like 5 o'clock. It's kind of like here, where people get 4-day holidays instead of 3-day holidays. But anyway, that's the point. She comes running in, and I'm sitting there. I'm just tearing stuff off the teletype and putting it on polls. My job was to take stuff off the teletype, read it, and it was either international, put it on that poll. If it was from France, if it was from Wyoming, you put it on national poll. If it was in San Francisco, you put it on a state poll. That was my job. Just read it. And just so I got hooked into journalism, because after I would do that, I would think, I'm one of the smartest people in America. I just read like world news for 45 minutes. So she comes running in. She goes, "Where is everybody?" And I said, "Oh, it's a Friday. Everybody's gone." I had no idea who this woman is. She's a huge woman. And she said, "Well, come with me." I didn't even know she worked at CNN. I had never seen this woman before. I didn't know who she was, but I'm a stupid intern. I'm 19 years old. All right, let's go. And she says, and I walk into the studio and it's packed. There are like people on the fringes, like staffers just kind of hanging around. And I'm like, this is weird for Larry King. And I knew who Larry King was, but I didn't think it was that big a deal. And in the early 80s, he was pretty popular, but he wasn't that big a deal, I didn't think. And there were 3 chairs there, and there was one empty. It was a camera chair. And she said, sit in this and listen to the guy that's going to talk to you. She put some headsets on me. And I was like, no, you don't. No. She's like, sit down. I said, you really don't want me to do this. And she said, just sit down. There's, see the little red square. Just keep that red square right above their forehead and just listen to the director. He's going to tell you to dolly your truck and just turn and boop, boop, boop. And so I sat there for a couple of minutes. I started messing around. The director started talking to me, and I said, okay, I think I can do this. And started to get funny. And all of a sudden, I started hearing, the champ is here! The champ is here! And I turned to the guy next to me, and I said, you know, that's what Ali says when he comes into a room. And I looked down the hallway, and I saw this group of people, and there was one head that stuck out over all the rest. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Muhammad Ali is about to do this show, and I'm the camera guy. You have got to be kidding me. And I'm telling you, for the first half hour, I'm sitting there with a smile on my face. The director's yelling at me. Literally, at one point, I did the Norman Rockwell, where I'm supposed to be looking into the camera, and I went like this just to check out Ali. And the guy said, get back, what's the matter with you? And I'm like, sorry. And I mean, I went back and watched the show because they repeated at 11 o'clock. They didn't use one of it was all the side shots. I was the middle guy because that's the easiest angle. And they didn't use one of my shots. And so at the end of the night, it's an hour-long show. I'm exhausted. I'm standing at the back of this large group of people that have surrounded Ali. He's still sitting there talking to Larry King. And it's quiet as a church. Everybody's trying to eavesdrop on Larry King and Ali's voice. And Ali says, you know, the only problem I have, Larry, I've been up and down your CNN building, and I've seen 2 black people. I saw a secretary on the first floor, and I see that young black boy back there. And I swear to God on my father's grave, I turned around and was like, who is he talking about? And he got up. I swear on my father's grave, this is a true story. Only 2 people believe me, Ed Skelly and my mother, because I called them both right after it happened. And he walked up to me, and I didn't know this is a bit that he did, but this is 83. This is right when he was starting to show some really bad signs of Parkinson's disease. So I didn't know whether he had lost it or that this was his bit, but he came up to me and he said, what's your name, young fella? And I said, Ralph Bailey, sir. He said, no, it's not. It's Joe Frazier, and it's the 15th round. And he started throwing jabs, and I mean, they are like whoosh, whoosh. And I'm like, is somebody going to tell Ali that I'm just Ralph Bailey? I'm from South Carolina, but I ain't Joe Frazier. And he said, I got you, didn't I? And he laughed, and everybody started laughing, and he walked back, and I ran the phone, and I called Skelly before he even called my mother. And I said, dude, you got to watch Larry King tonight. Ali was on it, and I'm one of the camera guys. And he's like, bull crap. And I go, listen. And I held up the phone. You could hear Ali still talking because it's still quiet as a church once the laughter lapped down. And he goes, you really did? I swear to God. And then I hung up on him and called my mother. So now I'm going to do the Christy Nome. Let's go, Chris. I'm going to do the Christy Nome. I'm going to retell that story. I'm going to say that Ali walked up to me and we started, just kind of sparring. And I popped the champ once and accidentally knocked him to the ground. He was out for about 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Give him those smelling salts, and I helped him up, and all was good. If the Secretary of the Homeland Security can do it, why can't I? Quick timeout. Went a long way to tell that, didn't I? Sorry. It's one of my favorite stories. In fact, it's probably my single favorite story and one of my fondest memories. And I remember I went home like almost angry because I was so bad at being a camera guy. It wasn't until like months later, like years later, really, that I was just like, I met Muhammad Ali. It was just, and it was sad because I was young and I had witnessed him when he was young. And to see him at that point where he was starting to shake and his voice was really faint when he was talking to me. And it was really, believe it or not, it's not as fond a memory as you would think, just because of the state that he was in. And I just kept thinking how much fun it would have been to see him grow old had he been the same Ali. I still think, though, that torch ceremony at Atlanta is one of the greatest sport moments I've ever seen, where at first I thought he was going to burn his arm. Remember that? When he was holding the torch and it looked like it was going to light his whole damn arm on fire. And then it just became a moment we will never forget. Quick timeout, not a lot of time for we're at the top of the hour. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a Friday. Coming up in the 5, we're going to talk with the now 2-time defending champion back-to-back Bakersfield Open winner Patrick Flavin will join us in the 5. He shot a 5 under for the day, 13 under for 3 days of work, and won in a playoff for the second year in a row. We'll talk to him coming up in the 5. It's TRBS, News Talk 96.1, AM 1180, KERN, streaming live at kernradio.com.
News.
Adaptive.
And it's the JR Show.
We need beds at the Mission and at the Open Door Network. We need mental health beds. We need substance abuse beds. I'm sorry, need jail beds. If your kid was acting up, breaking the law, I would, and my daughter knows this. I'll leave your butt in jail. She's 9 and she already knows. If I ever call dad from jail, you're where? Okay, well, thank you for letting me know, and I will see you in the morning. And I'm going to hang up.
The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey for Adaptive Networks. Business owners, how many times have you called your IT company and felt like just another ticket number? Well, at Adaptive,
I changed it to live. I don't know why it stayed that way. That was weird.
it's how they do business every single day.
I turn the thing on,
knows that
too.
better than the folks here at American General Media, because they are a client of ours and we are a client of theirs. IT is incredibly important for a radio station. We can't depend on somebody saying, well, we'll be out there tomorrow, because all you hear is nothing. So it's do or die for us. That's why we depend on Adaptive Networks. And when you call, you'll actually talk to a real person who knows your name, understands your business, and genuinely cares about solving your problems. No phone trees, no run around, no attitude. That's what Adaptive Networks are all about. Call today at 661-241-0638. That's 241-0638. Join the IT network that American General Media uses every day.
I remember brushing my hair and looking down and thinking, oh my gosh, do I have any hair left? I used to look at women with thick, beautiful hair and think, why doesn't my hair look like that? My thinning hair is making me feel so old.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. With clinically proven ingredients like apple extract, biotin, and millet, Hair Volume nourishes your hair follicles to promote thicker, healthier looking hair. Say goodbye to shedding, thin, and dull hair, and hello to thick, healthy hair with Hair Volume.
Since taking Hair Volume, the shedding has all but stopped. Now, instead of being jealous of other women's hair, I have friends who are jealous of mine.
My hairdresser couldn't believe the difference in my hair. Now she's using Hair Volume too.
Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com, or find Hair Volume in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Are the rising waters of expenses and debt threatening to drown you? Many people try to stay afloat by borrowing more money or using debt settlement programs, but those can take years. If you're trapped under credit card debt, medical bills, payday loans, or buy now, pay later plans, Chapter 7 bankruptcy could free you much sooner, in about 4 months and for a fraction of the cost. Stop the harassing calls and letters, rebuild your credit quickly, and clear the way for a fresh start. At Clean Slate BK Group, consumer Chapter 7 bankruptcies are all we do. We can help you erase credit card debt, medical bills, personal loans, even past due utility bills. Find out if you qualify at no cost and with no obligation. Go to csbk.com. This is an attorney advertisement. Your results may vary, and prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome. Clean Slate BK Group PC, located at 7 Penn Plaza, Suite 601, New York, New York 10001, is responsible for the content of this ad. For more information, visit csbk.com. That's csbk.com. Your clean slate starts here.
Hi, John Hall from John Hall Jewelers, where we are celebrating 74 years in business with our anniversary sale. Just in time for Valentine's Day, you can get Don Hall diamonds or a custom-made treasure for your special Valentine. We have a great selection of estate jewelry, pre-owned Rolex watches, and Cartier love bracelets. Come see us for that special anniversary gift and make it a Valentine's Day to remember. Don Hall Jewelers on the corner of California and Mohawk in the Stockdale Tower.
You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show. Catch me weekday morning, 6 to 9 a.m. on First Look with Scott Cox, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERS.
You know, I saw on Smokey the Bear, Smoke on the Water, Up in Smoke, classic. What the hell is it called?
All the Smoke.
All the Smoke. Spencer Haywood, who is portrayed in the winning dynasty, the Laker thing, because he was with the Lakers our first championship run, and then they let him go because he was on Heron. But he was married to David Bowie's wife, who was...
Oh, I have no clue, actually.
Iman, very, 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 very famous Egyptian model in the 20th century. I'll continue the story when we come back. Coming up at the 5. Don't go anywhere.
This is AM 1180 KERN Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM.
When you say run, I'll run with you.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. There's been another resignation linked to Jeffrey Epstein.
The top lawyer for investment bank Goldman Sachs, Kathy Remler, is resigning after emails between her and Jeffrey Epstein showed a close relationship. Remler was also White House counsel in the Obama administration. Remler has called Epstein a monster in recent statements. But before he was arrested a second time for sex crimes in 2019, she called Epstein Uncle Jeffrey in emails and said she adored him. After she left the White House in 2014, Remler received several Epstein, including luxury handbags and a fur coat. Epstein had already been convicted of sex crimes in 2008. I'm Donna Warder.
A key measure of inflation fell to a nearly 5-year low last month.
The cost of goods and services didn't rise as fast in January as they did a year ago. Overall inflation dropped to 2.4%, not too far from the Federal Reserve's 2% target. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports gas prices fell more than 3% last month, while grocery prices ticked higher.
Correspondent Greg Clugston reporting. As the aircraft carrier USS Gerald Ford leaves the Caribbean Sea en route to the Middle East, where tensions with Iran are increasing, President Trump was asked what Iran can do to avoid U.S. military action.
Give us the deal that they should have given us the first time. If they give us the right deal, we won't do that. But, you know, historically, they haven't done that. But I will say they want to talk. But so far, they do a lot of talking and no action.
On Wall Street, the Dow up by 48 points, the Nasdaq dropped 50, the S&P up by 3, oil at $62.79 a barrel. More at townhall.com.
Remember the day you brought your puppy home? The tiny paws, the wagging tail, the spark in their eyes, energy that wouldn't quit. As they've gotten older, you wonder where that spark went. They're slower, pickier at mealtime. Their stomach often seems off. And you find yourself cleaning up messes, worrying and thinking, is this what aging looks like? That's not old age.
Starving.
That's malnutrition. They're missing the probiotics, the enzymes, the omega oils, and the live vitamins and minerals your dog needs to digest and absorb food.
When the gut is out of balance, everything is harder. That's where Rough Greens comes in. It's America's #1 dog supplement. You sprinkle on their food. It's packed with all the live nutrients they need. It's all natural, made in the USA. Thousands of dogs are feeling younger, more energetic, healthier than ever before. I can get you a free Jumpstart trial bag. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFF. Roughgreens.com. Use the discount code MikeG. Rough Greens, we make any dog food better. Rough Greens, so great your dog will ask for it by name.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
He was originally in prison for murder. I'm Chris Davis, but Daniel Ray Myers was paroled at the end of January after more than 40 years. And police say he immediately tried to rape a woman in Salem, and when she resisted, stabbed her several times, nearly killing her Tuesday. Myers was caught last night in Bakersfield, say Salem police. Myers had been serving a life sentence for both murder and burglary before getting out and then attacking the woman who was making a DoorDash delivery. You may remember hearing about a crash that happened on White Lane back on Sunday, February 8th, about 11:40 a.m. near Discovery Church. Bakersfield police now say that the man who was
out there
in that
today.
wreck has died. Police are
was
still
out
looking
there
into
today.
just how the wreck happened, but believe that one of the drivers turned in front of traffic. The name of the man who died has not been made public, but Discovery Church made a post Thursday saying that was one of their church members.
I was going to get up at 7.
And the California
Have the show
Highway
done
Patrol
by,
believes that a person
10.
who died in a wreck Thursday in Bodfish was speeding, ran off the road and hit a
'cause they
tree
teed
and
off
then a
at like
building.
8:30.
That happened just after 5 p.m. on Lake Isabella Boulevard, just south of Kilbreth
Dude, he's
Drive.
so
The
hardworking.
name of the person
You
who
know,
was
when I
killed
saw
has
him
not
in the
been made public,
afternoon,
and he is
that
identified
was
for
the
now
second
as a
time he'd been out there.
63-year-old man.
That
It
he
is
shot
unknown right now whether
the
drugs
morning
or
group
alcohol
at
were
like
a factor in the
8:30.
wreck. A rock can
Left,
do a lot of
edited
damage when
that,
it is hurled
then
at a
came back
passing
while I
car,
was
and
out
that's
there
what
at like
Bakersfield police
noon
are saying happened
and
on
shot the
Greenwich
afternoon
Lane
guys.
back on January 9th. Now they've released a picture
And
of
by
the
the
man they
time that he
believe
got
threw
out
that
there
rock,
at noon,
causing about
because they let the
$400
players
worth of damage
ride,
to a car, and they
all
would
the
like
carts
to
were
catch the
gone.
perp. He's
So he
described
had
as
to
a
go
man in
truck
his
out there with
mid-30s
his
with blonde
fucking
hair, last seen
camera
wearing a
on
black
foot.
sweater and black pants. Police are asking for
And that
tips.
is not an
I'm
easy
Chris
track
Davis in
to
the
walk,
KERN
especially
Newsroom
with a
with
fucking
news every
camera on
half
your
hour
shoulder.
and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What do you think? This is the army where you shoot them a mile away? You gotta get a post like this. Bing, you blow their brains up, be a nice Ivy League suit.
Why do
It's
girls
the
do shit
Ralph
like this?
Bailey Show on News Talk
Why?
96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Look at me, I'm so cute.
You leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Final hour of the broadcast, final hour of the week as we head into a 3-day weekend that's going to culminate with some pretty heavy rain on Monday and Tuesday, so get ready for that. But enjoy the weekend. I'm trying to talk Mr. Zucchini into sticking it in the ground tomorrow. And don't forget, coming up at the bottom of the hour, we're going to talk to now back-to-back Baker Pat Flavin, who is from standby, because he is might have to move to Bakersfield. He loves him some Bakersfield Country Club. He won last year with a score of 13 under. He won again this year in a playoff, 13 under, defeating John Sand. And Mr. Flavin is from Highwood, Illinois, playing out of Desert Forest Golf Club. Maybe not anymore. Might have to move to Baco. Start getting a membership at BCC. And unfortunately for the local players, those that were in contention, namely Jared Kaneshita, he came into the final round having committed one bogey in the first 2 days, and then he committed, I believe, 4 today. He was 3 over par. He started the day at, I believe it was 7. No, it might have been 9. Yeah, it was 9. He was 9 over. He was 2 shots off the lead and was 3 over par. That's why I said, we talked about it yesterday. We debated this, what are the hardest sports to get into? And I think we determined it was baseball and I think golf and maybe tennis. Tennis is pretty tough.
Tennis can be, but I
'Cause
feel
you've
like
gotta
you
move
have to start super young.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say before you interrupted me. Thank you. You have to start when you're like golf. You have to start when you're like 5, 6. And those tennis players all have to move to Florida, because that's where all the tennis guru camps are. McEnroe's got one. Chrissy Everett's got one. I think Agassi has one. That's where you go. And so your whole family has to be involved in this now. We have a friend here in town. I'm not going to name her name. I'm not. But she's got a phenomenal prodigy as a daughter. And they're traveling all over the world, letting her play tennis. She's playing tennis in Europe. And she just might make it. She really might. But who knows? You just never know. We'll talk with Mr. Flavin at the bottom of the hour. We still got lots to do. I've been telling you about this tete-a-tete that's going on with the 2 Republican gubernatorial candidates that I just don't understand. You would think these 2 would sit down and say, hey, we're the 2 leading candidates. Number 1, believe it or not, in the most recent poll, it's been going back and forth between Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco, who Sheriff Donnie Youngblood, and Angela Barton, and the people at the KLEA are supporting heavily. They just recently had a fundraiser here in town for him, and Angela organized it so we could have him on the show. They are tremendous supporters, and no surprise that Sheriff Youngblood would support his colleague. But Steve Hilton's an impressive cat, a very smart cat who was in town recently, and he talked about his campaign.
It's fantastic to be here in Bakersfield to do this town hall. We call it the Californiable Tour. A lot of the specific things that I'm actually announcing as policies during the campaign have come from these town halls.
The reason I say it's unfortunate these guys are squabbing is because they are leading. Eric Swalwell is a horrendous candidate who has tons of money, has name recognition as a congressman, but it's somewhat infamous. He should be running away with this thing. And you saw Katie Porter earlier in the year shoot herself in the foot in that infamous interview that she did. There were 2 things that sunk her. I mean, one incident can't kill you, but when it seems to be a pattern, that starts to impact your voters. And that was, she's doing a podcast, I think it was with the Biden folks, and her assistant was in the background and tried to prevent her from screwing up, tried to correct her. And she went off on her on camera. That was number 1. It turned a lot of people off. Then she got into a mega candidate interview, meaning each candidate sat down with one interviewer. It'd be like if I had all the Republican and Democratic candidates come in here one by one, and I would essentially ask them all the same questions. Well, she got bent out of shape about a question that the interviewer was asking. And she kept saying, well, all the others answered this. And Katie Porter got frustrated and said, I'm calling this, and stormed off the set. And she was the leading candidate at the time, so she's now plummeted into 3rd. I don't think she's going to recover. And Bianco and Hilton are right at the top. Now, is that going to evince itself in a couple of months? Who knows? But I think we've got a fighting chance that one of these guys could emerge, at least get into the general, and that's exactly what the Democrats want. The Democrats are going to try to do the Steve Garvey. Remember when Garvey, immortal first baseman for the Dodgers and later played in the World Series with the San Diego Padres, tried to run for Senate, and Adam Schiff, that shifty, no-good lying piece of crap, did the one smart thing he's ever done in his political life, and that was ignore Katie Porter, who was running against him in the Senate, and prop up Garvey. Why? Because Chris Burdick could run as a Democrat and beat a Republican in the state of California. You know what I'm saying? And as Kathy always puts it, Ralph Bailey could run as a Republican, get 40, 45% of the vote. But beyond that, it's pretty difficult. Pretty difficult in this one-party state. So there is a viable chance that one of those 2 could get through. But now they're squabbing. Hilton found some video of Sheriff Bianco doing the Colin Kaepernick with a BLM group. That now, if you don't know who Colin Kaepernick is, I'd be shocked. But Colin Kaepernick is the NFL football player for the 49ers who took a knee during the national anthem and white folks' heads exploded. Well, you said if you just are seen mingling as a white conservative with BLM folk, not good. But you're seen taking a knee, doing the Colin Kaepernick with BLM folks? Yeah, that's not going to play well. That's not going to play well. So Hilton took advantage of it, brought it up. So quite naturally, Bianco loaded his pistols and fired back and called Hilton the Gavin Newsom of California on the Republican side. And so now our two leading Republicans are squabbing and they're going to split the vote. Here's Steve Hilton on that very topic.
It's my responsibility to make the case that the Republican Party needs to get behind one candidate. So we don't split the vote, and it needs to be the strongest candidate. My Republican opponent has just got too much baggage to be the champion for change that we need.
Instead of these two getting together and just saying, you know what, this is what I would have done if I was Steve Hilton or Chad Bianco. I would say, let's do this. Let's go at it pretty fiercely until primaries in June, till May. And then it's winner take all. Hey, look at me like, say, what are you talking about? If I'm leading in May, you support me, and we're one front. If you're leading in May, I'll support you, and we'll run front. Now, there's some negatives to that because some folks are saying that there's a remote, but nevertheless possibility, remote as it may be, that the two of them could have the ticket. And we automatically get a Republican. Because remember, for the five of you that don't remember, the primary system has changed. It used to be the leading Republican against the leading Democrat. Well, it ain't like that anymore. It's the two top vote getters. And that's why Schiff did the shifty Schiff and promoted Garvey so he could face off against a Republican in the general. And like I said, a ham sandwich could beat a Republican as a Democrat in the state of California. But now these guys are squabbing, and I think our chances are getting remote. And I really, I mean, at first I was all Chad Bianco because that's all I heard from Angela Barton and Sheriff Youngblood and others in this community. Then, you know, I've known Steve Hilton. I've known him as a contributor on Fox and kind of a, you know, TV commentator. He's a brilliant cat. I don't know what to do. Anybody but Swalwell, anybody but Katie Porter, and the rest of them, Xavier Becerra, Antonio Villaraigosa, the African-American superintendent of schools, Tony Thurman, none of them are significant. It's Swalwell. There are four people that can be governor, period, end of sentence. Eric Swalwell, Katie Porter, Chad Bianco, or Steve Hilton. One of those four, I guarantee you, will be the next governor. Which one of them is? I'm not that smart. I don't get paid that much money. My preference would be Chad Bianco at this point, but I'm not sure, to be honest with you. Let's go ahead and take a break. We'll check the board, see what you all are talking about. Did I play the Harvey Levin audio?
No, but that's what I was actually just about to ask, because there is an update here from CNN that says TMZ received a third letter.
That's what he's talking about.
Okay, so this is the same letter.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah, that's fine.
Let's do that next, since I blacked out and didn't play that. TMZ has received a third ransom note from the man who was asking for the Bitcoin, worth some 50, 60 grand. But the FBI has bumped the reward to $100,000. So why does this guy just rat out and take the reward? This whole thing is just hinky and stupid and doesn't make sense. And again, you guys know how I feel. I think it's all moot. I really do. I hate to say it. But somebody in the chat room, let me see who it was. it was Cotton who's come up with a brilliant idea how Savannah Guthrie could make a smooth transition back into television. I'll share it with you for those that aren't subscribing on YouTube when we come back. Then at the bottom of the hour, we'll meet now two-time Espalda for my non-Spanish speaking listeners. Espalda, as poorly as it's pronounced, means back-to-back in Spanish. Dodgers, and Patrick Flavin, who's won his second consecutive BC Open. He just comes into town once a year and picks up a $30,000 check, heads back to Illinois. We'll talk with him at the bottom of the hour. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a Friday the 13th on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KRN, where we're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Start your day right. First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
We have some new players in this Donnybrook over the sewer system upgrade deal. I'm serious. We will talk jobs with America's Job Center of Kern. We will have state-of-the-art news and traffic and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and streaming live on the World Wide Web at kernradio.com.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
You know, oddly, one of the things that I rarely talk about when I talk about Casey Steakhouse is lunch. If you work downtown, if you work for the county or wherever on Truxton, it's not very far and it's real quick and it's very convenient. And the menu is similar, just smaller portions, and it is outstanding. And the variety on the menu that Chef has put together now is simply unbelievable. It's mostly a large groups that come to Casey Steakhouse. And not everybody's feeling red meat to celebrate someone's birthday or an anniversary or whatever the event may be. And that's why Chef Daniel has advanced the menu. So there is Italian food. I love the fettuccine Alfredo with chicken. The lobster mac and cheese is everybody's favorite. The fish dishes, the mahi-mahi, the swordfish, the halibut. Where would you rather be than on F Street? And don't forget about the Stockyard next door for meetings, banquets, or just having dinner and having some of the craft cocktails that are served next door. It's Casey's Steakhouse, longtime sponsors of the Ralph Bailey Show.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
And we're back. Rob and Bob here once again for California Fruit Depot. Rob seems to be laughing. This is a commercial. We only have 60 seconds.
Okay.
We need to sell citrus and nuts. Dates, nuts, dried fruits. We need to tell people where we are as if they can't do it by Google. And if you don't know where we are by now,
You're not listening enough.
you're really not listening.
Get in your car, drive around, and
Here's
listen.
something that you're going to pay attention to. I would like to,
diabetes.
and I hate to get political, I would like to merge Kern County with San Luis Obispo County.
That's a great idea.
We can do a lot with it.
What took you so long?
They can use
Hey,
our
Siri,
resources. We can use
is
their
potato
resources.
salad bad for
Listen,
diabetes?
oil, ag, and beach. Moving on. We need a tag phrase in California Fruit Depot.
Okay, yeah.
The one we've been using is, it's just like Disney, but with only citrus.
I think it's too complicated, way too long.
And the cease and desist letters are stacking up high. Enough about this foolishness. Just visit California Fruit Depot. Come on out to Edison and say hi.
I mean, what a pro.
Running a business takes grit, vision, and a partner who believes in your success as much as you do. At Valley Strong Credit Union, business banking is built around you, the entrepreneurs, the growers, the dreamers, powering our community. Whether you need flexible checking, faster payments, or financing to take your next big step, Valley Strong brings local expertise and real relationships to every stage of your business. Because when local businesses thrive, the whole valley grows stronger. Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your business, grow your future. ValleyStrong.com/business.
I'm JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. Now, back to The Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 11.
Coming up before we get out of here, our Black History Month moment in honor of the BC Open. Charlie Sifford, one of the black pioneers of black golf in America in the 20th century. And just a couple of minutes, we're going to talk with 2026 and 2025 Bakersfield Open. Patrick Flavin went back-to-back, drops into town, picks up a cool 30 grand, and heads back to Illinois. Congratulations, young man, in case he's listening. 842-5376, 842-KERN. What do you got on the board?
Do you want to play this Harvey 11 audio?
Oh, yeah. Good. Thank you. This is the latest. Harvey Levin announced this last night that a third ransom note was sent to TMZ.
TMZ has obtained a second email from the man who claims to know the identity of Nancy Guthrie's kidnapper. We told you yesterday that this man sent us an email saying that he will reveal the name.
That's old audio.
No. This is the one you sent me last night, but that's what I'm saying. I think they just gave us an update that they now have a third.
That they just got today?
Yeah.
Read the story.
Oh, I have to pull it back up because I took it down. Where are you? All right, here we go. Harvey Levin, founder of TMZ, said that the outlet has received a third letter from a person claiming to know the identity of who abducted Nancy Guthrie, and that they now want a full $100,000 FBI reward in Bitcoin.
This is a phony. This is an absolute phony.
Yeah, there's no way this person knows.
No way in the world he has any clue who this woman is or where she is or what's going on. Because unless you're involved, he's not just a rat. He has to be involved or it has to be a scam. Because if I'm the FBI, and I'm certainly not, and they certainly, it's even stupid for me to imply, but anyway, you can't give them a nickel until you hear her voice or there's a picture of her. The classic way, obviously, you've probably seen this on television and movies, is send us a picture of her with today's paper or have her on the phone. You can't really do that now, I suppose, with AI, but she's not famous. It's not like you could, I don't know if you could imitate her voice, but yeah, the most common is send us a picture with today's newspaper, her holding today's newspaper. And if that's not done, they're not going to get a nickel. And I don't understand why he's asking for reward when the reward was just up to 100 grand. So we'll see what happens. I think she's been passed a long time. We're on our 13th day, and I think she was probably murdered the night of the event. I really do. Whether it was intentional or not, whether something went wrong or not, I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. What else you got? Anything on the board before we get Mr. Flavin in here?
Yeah, we got a couple. Let me see.
I'm feeling a steak, but God, I can't eat that.
Ralph, how is it that we get Friday the 13th this month and next month?
I don't know. What do I look like? An astrologist? I have no idea.
Easiest way to answer this is that it's a 28-day month and it's 4 straight weeks, which means it starts right up again where in the next month.
Does it matter? Do you suffer from triskaidekaphobia? Does it really matter? I will say this, on one of the worst nights of my life, I was coming out of the Channel 23 studios and a black cat walked in front of me. And that night, something horrendous happened to me. You can probably figure it out if you know me. The night that something really, really, really awful happened to me, I had just finished my 2-minute take. I was doing editorial. I used to do a 3-day-a-week editorial for Channel 23 when I was at a different radio station. And I was leaving the studio and I was parked in the parking lot. And I opened the door and this black cat ran right across in front of me. And I was like, oh, that can't be good. And that night, one of the worst things that has ever happened to me happened to me. I don't know if that's, but you can't blame that on anybody but Ralph Emerson Bailey Jr. One more, and let's get Mr. Flavin in here, 2-time champion.
So, Ralph, it sounds like you're politically predicting not only we are going to get routed in the midterms, but you are feeling that a potential Newsom victory in 28.
I would not be shocked. Things can change. That's how politics works. That's how sports work. A lot of things are going to happen before November. But yes, if the midterms were today, we would get slaughtered and we'd probably lose the Senate. And I just can't see him winning, but somehow I could see him winning. You know what I'm saying? The pretty boy, the huge celebrity support, the 52 electoral votes out of California. But I guess any Democrat would get that. But if I were a Democrat, I would vote for Josh Shapiro. I think he's the smartest of the bunch. He comes from a swing state. But again, I'm hoping that Newsom is the nominee because of the would-be candidates, J.D. Pritzker of Illinois, Shapiro of Pennsylvania, maybe Amy Klobuchar, because she'll be governor of Minnesota by then. Newsom is the weakest. You know, you start your campaigns with high-speed rail, the cost of living, the fact that we're going to lose 4 more congressional seats in 2030. He's been a horrible governor.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With us are in news. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Another shutdown for parts of the federal government is expected this weekend. Funding for the Department of Homeland Security is set to expire Saturday as long as
3.5 hours.
New restrictions on President Trump's immigration enforcement agenda. The White House has been negotiating with the Democrats, but the two sides failed to reach a deal by the deadline. A key measure of inflation fell to a nearly 5-year low last month as apartment rental price growth slowed and gas prices fell, offering some relief to Americans still grappling with a sharp increase in costs for the past 5 years. Friday's report suggests inflation could be cooling, but...
Say his last name again?
Flavin.
Okay, thank you.
I think. Isn't that what it looked like? What do you got?
That's why I'm asking you.
I know he'll correct you if it's wrong.
Sure.
0.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
After doing 40 years in prison for murder, police say Daniel Ray Myers tried that again Tuesday in Salem when they say he stabbed a woman repeatedly when she resisted his sexual assault. The DoorDash driver lived through that, and Myers was caught last night in Bakersfield, say Salem police. Speeding was likely the main factor in a fatal wreck last night in Bodfish, says the Highway Patrol. A 63-year-old man ran off the road on Lake Isabella Boulevard, hit a tree, and then an abandoned building. A man who police say threw bricks through windows and moved.
I got nothing.
Nothing?
No, I left a message, though, so we'll see if he calls back.
Okay.
40-year-old George Callahan facing
probably
several
drunk as a
felony
skunk.
charges, including...
That's honestly what I'm thinking, too.
He's in the bar. They're all buying him drinks.
That's what I'm thinking. So, we get him, cool.
KERN.
Are the rising waters of expenses and debt threatening to drown you? Many people try to stay afloat by borrowing more money.
If not, you have Daily Dave.
If you're trapped under credit card debt, medical bills, payday loans, or buy now, pay later plans, Chapter 7 bankruptcy could free you much sooner, in about 4 months and for a fraction of the cost. Stop the harassing calls and letters, rebuild your credit quickly, and clear the way for a fresh start. At Clean Slate BK Group, consumer Chapter 7 bankruptcies are all we do. We can help you erase credit card debt, medical bills, personal loans, even past due utility bills. Find out if you qualify at no cost and with no obligation. Go to csbk.com. This is an attorney advertisement. Your results may vary, and prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome. Clean Slate BK Group PC, located at 7 Penn Plaza, Suite 601, New York, 10001, is responsible for the content of this ad. For more information, visit csbk.com. That's csbk.com. Your clean slate starts here.
Walk the streets of Bakersfield into Country Night with the Condors tonight. Country rock band In Cahoots will perform throughout the night. And we'll have Condors Country Trucker hats on sale for just $5. Plus, it's a $3 Beer Friday with Michelob Ultra and Mango Cart, just $3 till the start of the second. It's a boot scooting good time, presented by Roosters and Eyewitness News. Doors open at 6. The puck drops at 7. Fun starts at just $15 at condorstown.com or by calling 324-POP.
This is Condorstown. It's the JR Show.
The city council, the folks inept and all that run our city, don't even make $3,000 a month. But you mean to tell me a board of 5 that oversees 26,000 kids that meets once a month, and again, you can call in and tell me they meet more than just once a month, JR. You know, they go out to schools and they meet with teachers and they discuss other things at other times with different, $3,000 a month. I'm pulling papers tomorrow.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. The Armstrong and Getty Show. Weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
Love is love. To it, make it. Take my heart and please don't break it. Love was made for me and you. Nat King Cole. Oh, is for the way you look at me. Oh, is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore. And love is more that I can give to you. Love is more than just a game for two. Two in love can make it. Take my heart and please don't break it. Love was made for me and you. Nat King Cole! What are you doing? What are you doing? Let that finish this. Eight 842 KERN. I was just trying to buy some time. Patrick Flavin is probably in the clubhouse enjoying his win. So hopefully he'll return our call. But if not, congratulations to him. He's now a 2-time champion. He went back-to-back, equaling his score of last year of 13 under par. He was 5 under par for the day, I believe, and came from behind to win today and won in the playoff. Congratulations. In the meantime, who you got?
Daily Dave.
Dave, what's really going on? Dave?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, man. What's going on?
I was out there watching him.
Oh, did you really? Did you watch the playoff?
I went to the playoff. I saw it.
What hole did they? What was that playoff hole? 18?
The 18th hole. Yep.
And who did what? And what happened? Walk us through that final hole.
Ravens put it right up near the cup. looked like it was over. The other guy fell short, and then he hit the hole. He almost dumped it in to tie the score.
Oh, the John Sand?
Perea or whatever. Yeah, he almost knocked it in. It would have
to tie it, and then Patrick made his birdie putt.
Perea missed the chip in.
No, I think it was John Sand was the other player.
Okay, well the other guy, yeah, it looked like it was going in, and it lipped out, and then Flavin, he drilled it from like 150 out, and it was a tap in for a birdie.
Wow, that's a nice way to win it.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful weather. I went there. I saw Greg Kerr, talked to a gentleman, 82-year-old from Taft, who talked golf. Then I went over to Highland and watched my grandson swim at the new Highland pool.
Nice. That's a busy afternoon. Good for you.
Yep. And picked up a little food downtown, bringing it home to my dad, and we'll watch some Olympics.
Outstanding. What's for dinner tonight?
A little bit of Chinese tonight.
Ooh, that doesn't sound bad.
Yeah. And
maybe a little Bill Lee's for the kid.
Golf is the hardest sport you'll ever play. It's not like riding a bike or throwing a frisbee or shooting hoop or playing catch. It's the hardest game in the world. Golf is hard.
It is. It is a mental strain, because that's what makes it so difficult. Every other sport, you just play. You don't think, you just play. It's reaction.
Right.
But golf, you have to be mentally. That's my issue. Mentally, I just absolutely lose it, particularly around the green. That's why I play well when I haven't played in a long time, because I think about my swing and I think about my key. All right, Ralph, you're chipping, lean forward, everything on your left leg. When I played a lot, I just step up and hit it, and I scull it across the green.
Well, and golf is, basketball courts are all the same. The football field,
right?
The baseball diamond,
yep.
90 feet. Okay, it's all the same. Everything in golf is changing. It's undulating. You could have an uphill lie, a downhill lie. You could be in the sand. You could be, and we talk about the divots hitting out of a divot. I mean, everything is different every time you play that game.
Yeah. Hey, I've got the champion on the phone. I got to go, Dave. Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it.
Have a great weekend.
You too, buddy. Take care. Ladies and gentlemen, the back-to-back two-time Bakersfield Open champion from the great state of Illinois, the land of Lincoln, Patrick Flavin. Patrick, congratulations, man.
Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Our friend of ours, a listener of our program, just described the playoff, but let's let you walk us through it.
Oh, that's awesome. I felt like I hit a great shot in on 18 the last hole and came up just a bit short, about like 25, 30 feet, and I checked the leaderboard to see where I was at, and I saw I needed to make it. So I hit a great putt, kind of pounded it up the hill, and it went in, which was awesome. And then, hit a great second shot on 18 in the playoff and had about a 5-6 footer to win and poured it in. So I was pumped. I definitely, the adrenaline was pumping, that's for sure.
So you made a 25-footer just to get into the playoff?
I did. Yeah.
Wow.
Did. Yeah. I know. It was awesome. So like a moment like that where you need it and then knocked it in. So that was really, really cool. I was fired up.
And then hit it tight in the playoff. That is pretty cool. So let me ask you, are you moving to Bakersfield, or are you just gonna pop in once a year, pick up $30,000 and do a boogie tag?
I love it. I don't know what it is about the place, but great track. I think it's a tough course, and you got to be patient out there. And I just love everything about it. Great greens, they're challenging, and everybody there treated me so well. So it's been really cool. I was blown away with the amount of support I got last year. So then to kind of come back and win was just like a huge goal, and to accomplish it was amazing. So,
yeah. Where does your career stand now? What are some of your goals? Where are you headed? You're going to stay on the Asher Tour? You got a shot to jump on the Corn Ferry? What are you doing?
I'm playing the PGA America, so they merged Latin and Canada, and it's the level below the Corn Ferry. So, still I'm playing the American Tour. I've done that a couple of years, and then I got to play on the Corn Ferry a few years before that. So, working my way back is the plan. But this is a definitely huge momentum in the right direction.
Oh yeah,
and just kind of under the gun. I played with Jared, who's local, and he had a big crew of supporters out there. So it was just a great environment, like so much fun today.
Yeah.
And, it was awesome.
Yeah, we were a little disappointed. Jared Keneshita is a great kid. I talked to his mom yesterday. He played so well. You know, he comes into the day with one bogey, and then, he has 3 or 4 today. It's golf, man. It's crazy. It's a crazy sport.
Yeah, totally. And then also just him playing in front of like all these people out rooting for him. It's so cool. It's great. They definitely clearly a great guy because they love him out there.
Yeah, he is a good kid.
He got married like 2 weeks ago. So
Yep.
He's got good stuff going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So there are no leaderboards on the Asher Tour, or certainly not a BC. So are you checking your phone? Are you looking at the board? Did you know you had to come from behind? And at what point did you know, all right, I'm starting to get close here?
Well, I'm not a huge leaderboard checker in general, but I kind of figured my goal today was to shoot 5 under. But then the pins were so difficult, I figured I was kind of right in the mix. But I didn't know anything until I checked the leaderboard on my phone after my second shot at 18. I just kind of wanted to see like if I need to give that putt a good smack or if I should need to lag it up there. John Sands shooting 8 under today is insanely good. So,
yeah.
I didn't know where I stood, but I kind of figured there were a lot of people kind of out watching our group, and the pins were so tough. I figured I was right in the mix.
Yeah. You played with Jared. Who else was in your threesome?
Just me and Jared.
Oh, just you and Jared?
Today.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he had his buddy Neil caddying for him. So we just had a great time. And a really solid crew out following us, and the course was amazing. So just a great day.
Yeah. I can only assume that you'll be back next year to perhaps pick up another 30 grand.
I'll definitely come give it a shot. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, man. Well, congratulations. Where are you headed from here?
I got not a whole lot on the agenda. I'm driving down towards LA to Valencia actually, and hang out with some buddies, and then a bit more some Asher tours and some Monday qualifiers before Americans gets rolling. So
yeah,
keep the momentum rolling is the plan.
Yeah. Are you still based out of Illinois, or you moved out here out west?
I moved out to Arizona.
Oh, nice. Yeah. All right, man.
Trip back home.
Well, be safe. Congratulations. And I know we'll see you out here next year.
Sounds great, Ralph. Thanks so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh, we appreciate you coming on. Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Patrick Flavin. God, I didn't know he hit a 25-footer just to get into the playoffs. You see what I'm talking about? How crazy golf is. Guy's got to make birdie. He leaves it beneath the hole. Obviously, it must have been a blue flag. And I'm telling you, I just played there last Sunday. I played there quite a bit. And 18 is probably one of the flatter greens that are shaped from back to front, but it's still back to front. You still have to hammer that thing. You'd be surprised because it doesn't look like it's got that much elevation, but it does. And you do have to hammer that thing up that hill because you're surprised. That's the thing that's so freaky about the BC greens. Like as lightning fast as they are, if you do have an uphill putt, you still got to hammer it a little bit. I am the king of the 5-foot 2 putt. And he pushes it right, and that's a 3 putt. Give me a double bogey. Had a putt for 4, and I made a 6. Ralph Bailey, ladies and gentlemen. Quick timeout. Mr. Guerra from BCC is chiming in. Let's see what he has to say. Come out tomorrow. Some pins Same pins, and he's going to double cut them again. We're trying to talk Zucchini into it. Chris, you're listening. Let's go, man. I want to see how these guys play. That's outstanding. A very successful week. And Paul, if you're listening, congratulations to you, Jen Park, Brian, groundskeeper, everybody involved. It was a tremendously successful BC Open this year. And I wish I could have got out there if I'd gotten my lazy butt up in time, but I didn't. And it sounds like Jared Kaneshita, who was in the mix, had a big following today, and that's outstanding. And don't forget, Bhavik Patel and Manav Shah both shot 3 under. They were just a little bit too far off the pace, but they played well today as well. Quick timeout. Final break of the night. Final break of the week. Again, we're dark on Monday. Come back on Tuesday with our former federal magistrate judge, Teresa Goldner. The latest on Nancy Guthrie. Whatever else happens over the weekend. You're listening to the Ralph Bailey Show on Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. We stream live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Start your day right. First.
Whenever you're ready.
What the hell did we do today? Three, two. I'm telling you, there's just no defending Kristi Noem at this point. Not only did she talk about killing her 14-year-old puppy, not only did she lie in a book about meeting Kim Jong-un and intimidating because she's met so many tiny tyrants, but now they've discovered in the case where the agent claimed that he was beaten by a man with a shovel, that was a lie and that she perpetrated that. I'm telling her, 3, 2. At this point, there's no defending Kristi Noem. Not only did she boast about killing a 14-month-old animal, not only did she lie about meeting Kim Jong-un, but not only lied about that, but talked about how she intimidated him because she's met so many tiny tyrants. But now she's lied about that incident with the agent who claimed that he was hit with a shovel and forced to shoot the man. That was a lie that she perpetrated. I'm telling you, her days are numbered. 3, 2. It's that man again. Look what's coming up on the Tuesday TRBS. Well, our former federal magistrate judge returns from her New York palatial pad. And, of course, the latest on Nancy Guthrie and whatever else happens on this 3-day weekend. It's the Ralph Bailey Show, Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. I'll see you Tuesday.
Just text the word secure, SECURE, to 989898. There's no pressure, no obligation, just the facts. You can't predict the future. Oh! Prepared, but only if you educate yourself. So take that first step right now. Text secure to the number 989898 today. That's secure to 989898.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore.
My current
These
press
small
club
ships
award.
Bring travelers closer to the destination. There's more time to explore, and every Viking voyage is all inclusive with no children, casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Did you know GoodRx can help you save on medication, manage prescriptions, and get trusted health information? If you're one of the millions living with a heart condition, check GoodRx for an easier, more affordable way to manage your health. GoodRx offers common heart medications for under $30. Just search for your prescription, find the best price, then show your pharmacist the GoodRx coupon. And it works whether you have insurance or not. To start saving and better manage your heart health, download the free app or visit GoodRx.com today. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Are you looking for a hospital that truly cares for your health and well-being?
I guess that's what Super Glue's for.
They provide high-quality medical detox, psychiatric services, and medical and surgical care. They accept most insurances, including Medi-Cal, Medicare, and Kern
2005.
County. They offer Kern County's longest-standing
Best radio
inpatient
show.
detox program with dual diagnosis,
20 years ago.
medical care, and withdrawal management, all under one roof. Learn more at GoodSamaritanHospital.com or call 661-215-7500.
That was
Good
a fun
Samaritan
night.
Hospital. They care for their community.
The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
All you need is love. Love is all you need.
All I need is some super glue is what I need. I broke my first press club award for best radio show, 2005, 20 years ago. That was a fun night because I thought I was going to lose to Jazz McKay, which would have been the ultimate embarrassment. And McKay knew he was going to win, just absolutely knew he was going to win. And I thought he was going to win because I have always said, Jazz McKay has more talent to do a radio show in his left arm than I have in my own body. I'm just better overall. I'm a better person. I'm a better character. And I get in my way on occasion. I'm famous for that. But McKay can't stay out of his own way. That's his problem. I've told you the story, and I'm not trying to bag on the guy. He's not in my head anymore. He used to be in my head, I'll be honest. He used to be in my head. That's why I was so nervous that night 20 years ago, because I really didn't want to lose to him, and I thought I was. But when he came to Bakersfield, one of the first things he told me after he'd been there for about 3 years, he told me that this was the first job in like 40 years, 30 years of radio that he had for longer than 2 years. Because he'd always say something or do something. And he stayed consistent. Steve Darnell, our general manager, loved him. So he stayed there for several years. And then, he had his problems. He got fired. And then Mr. Brandon, our boss, tried to give him a second life. And I'll never forget, we were having a party for something in the room down the hall. And Mr. Brandon called me aside. And I swear I thought I was getting whacked at the party. And he said, I just want to give you a heads up. We hired Jazz McKay. And I swear to God, I said, well, that's probably good if he can stay straight because he's got more talent than I do. And Mr. Brandon was like, no, don't say that. And I said, he really does. But he'll step in it inside of a year or two. I guarantee it. And he's like, well, we'll see. And he did. He did. And there are things that he did here that we don't even talk about. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
God, I wish I could tell that story. Can I tell that story?
No.
No, I really can't. Because it doesn't impact him, it impacts us. It's a great story. But I can't tell it. But and just for the record, I continued to win this thing. I won it 2 more times. But then it became like, because it's just me and McKay. As I've always told the story. Genius in the Morning and Inga Barks, the late Inga Barks, no disrespect, both said, because I heard them say this on the radio because we were rivals at the time, that they didn't want to participate in anything what they had to nominate themselves. So I was like, I so wanted to call in and be like, well, you'll never win the Pulitzer Prize, my friend. The only thing that is judged like by their peers are Academy Awards. There's no radio group that goes around the country listening to radio stations and saying, we're nominating that person. How do you think people win Emmys? Outside of national television, KGT wins Emmys because they submit stories that are looked at by a press club in another community, and that's how they win Emmys. But it's not some group that nominates you. So it got boring. It was just me and McKay every year. And I, of course, I'd spank his ass every freaking year. Beat him 3 years in a row. I'm just saying. And so they stopped doing it for radio. They really did. And you know me, it's going to be difficult for Burdick to get my head through that door. So I always thought that they'd stop giving it because of me. I mean, because think about it. I'd have kept winning the damn thing. If Scott and them weren't going to participate, I was going to beat McKay every year. So I've always taken credit for them stop giving out the radio award. Oh my God, I didn't do Charlie Sifford.
Nope.
That's your fault.
It's my fault.
Yes, you're the producer. You're supposed to say, Ralph, stop talking about your damn press club awards and do the biography of Charlie Sifford, one of the great black golfers of all time. What's the matter with you? It's Black History Month. 5:57. What the hell? I can't do Charlie Sifford in 2 minutes. You know what? Monday we're doing 3 black people.
Are we?
In fact, the whole show is going to be Black History Month.
Is it really?
Tuesday.
I was just about to
Other
say.
than Teresa Golder, the whole show's going to be black people. It's 3 days in a row. I have never done that during Black History Month. I may have forgotten like a day, but I've never gone 3 days in a row without doing Black History Month. So the whole it's a black show. In fact, that's what we're going to call it on Friday. Good afternoon and welcome to the Black Show. I'm your black host, Ralph Bailey. Can't you tell it's Friday and we're going into a 3-day weekend? What do you got on the board, Chris, before I go home with my broken trophy?
It's easy as hell to get a copy of your birth certificate, and it's $15.
I thought mine was more expensive. Maybe mine was expensive because I had to go to Georgia, I had to go to Atlanta and see Dwayne Emerson Bailey. And then it's crossed out. Ever told you that story? Let's end with that story. My parents were they let up with Ralph. It's definitely going to be Ralph. It's definitely going to be Ralph. And then at the last minute, my parents said, my mom wanted Dwayne. Dwayne, seriously. And so this is in 62 when the family wasn't allowed on the floor where the maternity ward was. And so my mother gave birth and said, look at little Ralph. And my dad went down to the family to tell them, we have a freckle-faced, big-headed boy who's got a very large, anyway. And they said, oh, Ralph was born, little Ralph Jr. And so my dad went back to my mom, was like, Harriet, I got some bad news. She said, what's wrong with little Ralph, with little Dwayne? She goes, they all think your mama, my daddy, Irvin, Charlie, everybody thinks his name is Ralph. We have to go with Ralph. And literally on my birth certificate, the name Dwayne is crossed out and above it is written Ralph. I swear to God. I got to get out of here. For Chris Burdick, I'm Ralph Bailey. We'll see you Tuesday.
This is AM 1180 KERN Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. While visiting with troops at Fort Bragg, North Carolina today, President Trump was asked if he wants to see regime change in Iran.
Seems like that would be the best thing that could happen. For 47 years, they've been talking and talking and talking. In the meantime, we've lost a lot of lives while they talk, and legs blown off, arms blown off, faces blown off. It's been going on for a long time, so let's see what happens.
Trump said the USS Gerald R. Ford, the world's largest aircraft carrier, is being sent from the Caribbean Sea to the Middle East to join other warships and military assets the U.S. has built up in the region. The Trump administration is taking legal action against Harvard.
The lawsuit says the Ivy League school has refused to provide admissions records that the Justice Department demanded. The DOJ is trying to ensure that Harvard has stopped using affirmative action in admissions. The lawsuit says that Harvard has, quote unquote, thwarted efforts to investigate potential discrimination. It's asking a judge to order the university to turn over the records. This is the latest salvo in President Trump's standoff with Harvard, which has faced billions of dollars in funding cuts and other sanctions after it rejected a list of demands from the administration last year. I'm Mike Hempen.
Another shutdown for parts of the federal government is expected this weekend. Funding for the Department of Homeland Security is set to expire Saturday as lawmakers debate new restrictions on President Trump's immigration enforcement agenda. The White House has been negotiating with the Democrats, but the two sides failed to reach a deal by the deadline. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average up by 48 points. The Nasdaq dropped 50. The S&P 500 index advanced by 3 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Newsmax, you like Newsmax? I like it too. Newsmax, you like Newsmax? I like it too.
It's true. Millions of Americans agree with President Trump, and they're switching to Newsmax. They're watching great shows with Greta, Carl Higbie, Rob Schmidt, Finnerty, and more. If you're tired of big media, start watching Newsmax. It's free to start. Go to newsmaxplus.com for immediate access. Get all of President Trump's most important events live. Imagine watching Mike Huckabee's Israel Report, our Melania documentary, Clint Eastwood, Charlie Kirk specials, even the movie Jesus of Nazareth by Franco Zeffirelli. Once you start Newsmax Plus, you won't stop. So try it for free. Go to newsmaxplus.com, then download the app. It's easy. So make the switch to Newsmax Plus today.
Have a good weekend.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
He was originally in prison for murder. I'm Chris Davis, but Daniel Ray Myers was paroled at the end of January after more